Yeah. Well, we can't talk about...
Wait, are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
No.
We can't talk about old people's scrotums. I'm just saying that when old people don't give a shit when they get that out.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They just let it hang there. Why?
Yeah. Epic intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent job.
Are we actually live?
You always, yeah. They'll wait. You guys will wait, right? We're talking about something here, but yeah,
old people's balls. Yeah, like it's kind of
well, not old people's balls. We're talking about old people at a gym not caring,
Yeah.
Because a young person usually will be like, I mean, and that's another thing where you'll get a lot of people at a gym where some people are just walking around naked, like talking to you, and it's like if we're directly face to face, I don't need to see your fucking your junk and tackle.
You know what? I apologize in the name of the podcast officially here.
No apologies.
No apologies accepted, man. No apologies accepted. What's up, everybody?
It just properly sets the expectation for the rest.
It really does at that high level. By the way, speaking of high levels, next week, one of the official Gearbox lead writers for their games is going to come on the podcast. So that'll be awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool. He reached out and contacted me. So reached out and touched my rocks and tackle. But yeah, man, that'll be awesome. I'm excited to see what he has to say about writing in games. So we'll definitely cover that for sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining up. I appreciate it. If you get a chance, tweet out that we're doing this live. It is going out to some people, not to others. We'll figure it out over time. Super chats help. Definitely appreciate that as well for these guys. Let's see. What are we? 429. What do we got left for April? We have one more day. One more day. So your April games. Anybody played anything? What's your April game? Does anybody have an April game? Just April. April 1st. It can't be
Tiny Tina.
Tiny Tina. Okay.
An April game. Okay. I mean, I picked up a new game a couple days ago.
That's still April. What was it?
King Arthur, Knight's Tale.
Yeah, so what is this game? Never heard of it.
It's pretty fucking cool, man.
That's what I heard.
It's like a tactical RPG, kind of like XCOM. You got Overwatch and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But in this rendition, so King Arthur and Mordred, how they fight in a big battle?
Yeah.
In this one, they both die. But what's cool about this is that you play.
Did you just spoil the ending?
No, that's the beginning.
Okay,
that's
sorry.
The intro.
That's the okay.
That's the
gotcha.
intro.
Sorry.
In this one, you play as Mordred, who's like a tyrannical, like war leader, right? And it's kind of like tyranny, where your choices matter. So you can either be tyrannical or more of a rightful ruler, and that like changes things in the game.
Huh. And it's like a XCOM.
Yeah, it's like XCOM. You go on missions, and you got like your heroes you send out, and there's permadeath, and it's like a tactical.
But
RPG.
XCOM with fantasy.
With like a huge story. Yeah, it's in fantasy, and
That's
it's like
rare.
a very strong story, and your choices matter. Like you can rule as like a rightful or tyrannical leader, or like Christian, or believing in like the old gods,
like the old pagan gods and stuff.
Yeah, no.
That's awesome. Anybody else have an April game?
Yeah, I mean, there were plenty. I mean, Lego Star Wars.
No, not plenty. Got to be one. What's your one April game? People want to know. Would you say Lego?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Lego's fine.
Well, I thought you liked Lego. The thing is people always get mad whenever you say there's a bunch. They're always like, put your thumb on silver and make sure silver answers. I get that all the time. So that's I gotta razz you for it. Dude, Lego's good, right? For April. Lego's got to be one of the tops. Did you do, and you haven't done Tiny Tina, right, Silver? You said Borderlands 2 was the last Borderlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Correct.
But for Johnny, Tiny Tina is above Lego.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't play a ton of Lego yet. Actually, a friend of mine whom
Bubbles. Go ahead.
Hey, whom I've met online is coming to London, and we're gonna meet in person here and hang out, and we're gonna play Lego.
Oh hell!
In co-op, cool. Like actually, in co-op, which is super exciting.
This will be the second or third person you met in real life because you met Reg, and
yeah, I
right?
think it will be
second or third.
Second or third, yeah, exactly. And we'll see if my cat Basil approves of him.
Is that how you pass it off?
Easy.
Well, remember Reg did the podcast from your place.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
and my cat was fine with him. He was pretty. In fact, I was a bit like, I kind of expected you to like me more than him.
Basil approves,
and he was like pretty. Pretty balanced between us.
We just lost Absy. What about you, Reg? Any April?
Well, I haven't really played a lot apart from my main game, but I would also say Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars, still your highest,
Nice.
though. And you did. Let's see, what other ones for April then? Yeah, because you're doing Lost Ark, which is prior, and then you haven't really given a bunch of April games the
No.
go around anyway, right?
The only other one I really tried for a tiny bit was Dune Spice Wars, and I don't have enough time in that yet to have an opinion.
Getting really good review, even though it's early access. It's getting good, whatever the term would be. Impressions for. Whoa. Sorry, that was my Alexa going off. It's getting really good impressions, so that's cool. I would say let's see, April. Man. I'm trying to think of what my top game would be. I don't think any game caught my, like it didn't really. None of the games really fried my bacon. If you get my drift.
Wasn't Weird West April, or was that late March?
Was it April? Dude, you might be right. Wait, was it April? Because I feel like I've been doing Weird West for a while. You know what I mean? Like we've been, because I did a pre.
No, it was March. It was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was March. So for
Okay.
April,
But it was almost April because it was,
was
the
right
31st
at the end, right?
of March.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For April, I wasn't impressed with a lot of the games that I reviewed, as you guys can tell if you looked at the reviews. I didn't. If you watch the reviews, which there's no reason you should, they're pretty shitty. I would say overall for April, it was one of the. It still had some good games, but they weren't like the. They were sort of enjoyable to sit back and play. They weren't like catch you off guard how good they were, because I did Winter Ember, which was really disappointing. Loop Mancer, which was a preview. So I would say for me it was also Lego, because Lego was, even if there were other games with Lego for me, I probably would have still voted for Lego. I was just really impressed with the graphics, really impressed with the change in gameplay. Really not impressed with the lack of co-op. Online.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You can
Right.
explain it all you
Yeah.
want, but we're at a time where now, guys, Lego co-op would be so. We talked about this before. Infinite. We can't talk about Infinite. We can't talk about Lego together unless we do some cheap workaround. So yeah, that was too bad. April wasn't too bad though, because I think a lot of us went back to old games, right? Or played, like, I'm sure
Yeah.
Silver played Warhammer, right? Didn't you go back and do some? Not go back, but
Yeah.
continue
Yeah,
with
yeah.
War. So it's like a lot of us got chance to sort of sink into older games or games that maybe we missed. Did you do any, Johnny? Because I know Lost Ark is Reg's, but was there any?
man, I've been playing AC Odyssey.
Oh,
Yeah. A bit wild to go to that, but I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm
a surprise.
feeling it, because
Mhm.
I realized people were talking about Valhalla. This is what happened, and I was like, do you know what? I didn't really have fun in Valhalla like I did in Odyssey, and I never finished Odyssey. So why not jump back in?
Mhm.
And
Right.
I picked up the DLC, which I never played as well, and it's a really nice chill game. It's so easy to get back to. You're not stressed about like, oh, the controls. It's not a terribly mechanical game either. You can kind of relax and just have fun with it.
Very cool. Absy is gone right now. I did get a patron super chat, which I haven't gotten before. He just went with patron, just jumped in. JT, $20 super chat states, will you talk about the Microsoft event? Also, has Microsoft got its flow back? I think they mean like
What does that
Mojo?
mean? Do
Mojo,
we think
probably.
they are at a lull in release, basically, of games?
No, I
Is
think
that
he
what-
means flow. Like for many years, Microsoft, even if it was doing good, just didn't,
like that.
didn't keep. People just didn't talk about it like they. I think Game Pass is probably 80% of the reason why we're talking about this.
Yes.
But I think Game Pass, Flight Sim, and a couple others, like, have they got their mojo back? Because people don't remember Microsoft used to also have a shit ton of PC stuff and was doing really well with all their PC games, and then RTS has sort of dropped out. Age of Empires wasn't as big of a deal. Those kind of things, and now they're all sort of coming back. So yeah, I would say that that's probably true. Thank you very much for the super chat, JT. You can do those here in YouTube if you want, but I think I know why you didn't do that. Len Grant says, Karak, I've been waiting so long to ask you this. Did you like Time Splitters, and how has nobody remade it, literally made for today's Battle Royale gamers? I did Time Splitters 2. Not time. Did you guys do Time Splitters too? Years
I
ago?
No.
I did one of them, but I
You
don't
did one.
remember
Don't
which
even
one.
remember. Yeah, dude. Like he's bringing up some ancient shit because those are old. I know Homefront: The Revolution had the entire game in an arcade you could unlock with a code. But yeah, Time Splitters 2 I did, and to be brutally honest, man, it's so long ago. So long ago, I couldn't really tell you what I thought of it.
I can't remember much either, frankly.
And I think, Silver, I'm pretty sure it also was in the day when they hadn't perfected movement like Halo. Because I, for some reason, think we were using the digital pad to move with the, you know what I mean? Like there was some, I remember playing one of them and being like, this doesn't feel smooth because I maybe it was like back prior to the DualSense or whatever that was for the PlayStation. I could be wrong on that, but I think I remember control being an issue. A lot of people are saying finish Greedfall. Multiple people playing Greedfall again, which is interesting because it must have went on sale or something. Oh, you're back.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, that's all right. Did you say April game? Was it a King Arthur, right? Yeah.
King Arthur,
Okay.
yeah. Did I expand upon that? I
You
don't
did.
even know.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I was
a
just
lot of shit happening right now. So,
what's going on? Is everything all right?
yeah, there's
Okay.
someone at my door and stuff.
Let's see. We got Star Wars Lego, MLB The Show people are playing, Rogue Legacy 2. We'll talk about that because some people in here are playing. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Is there a remake of that or something? Is that why people are talking about that all
The
of a sudden?
extended edition that they worked on for years.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
All right. I played games from my backlog this month. Let's see. Reg has the cat seal of approval. Oh, I'm all the way back there. Okay. No Man's Sky. Why does YouTube not notify me when the live stream starts? Because I guess it's just putting the responsibility on you. It's just like you need to figure it out. I don't know.
Be here at the time. Be punctual.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Take some
exactly.
ownership.
You do it. No, that's our podcast. You do it. You do everything. We'll sit here. You run the tech. Oh, Brandon, $5 super chat. Back to Lego. Lack of online co-op sucks, but it's made worse by the local co-op split screen, vertical. You need a decently big TV to play comfortably. That's so true. That's so true.
Because I was playing on my monitor, and you have. I mean, it's.
I
small.
forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tristan Martin, what's up, buddy? $10 super chat. Going off the Battle Royale topic, what do you guys believe the best Battle Royale game is and why? Apex, for me. For sure. What about you guys? Best Battle Royale game. If you play them. If you don't, it's fine.
I mean, the only one I really played for any extended period of time was PUBG.
Was PUBG. And you liked it. You and Takedown played a lot of that, right?
PUBG was a good time. Dude, mine is weird. Mine is Call of Duty fucking Black Ops.
Or the big one?
The not Warfare, Black Ops, I think 4. And it was called Dark Zone or something, Black Zone. It was so much fun because it was just like super fast paced and I like the mechanics.
Is it dead now? Could you play that today?
Oh, it's dead. I mean, you can play it, but I think it's
like all
pretty
hackers
dead.
or something.
Yeah. But I'm over Battle Royales, for a while.
What about Apex, man? I thought you were gonna back me up.
I mean, I played it for a little bit with you and Takedown. I didn't really play it that much.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
For me, that's the best one. Just because how the movement feels.
Apex?
It's so smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fun. What about you, Silver? Do you do these at all? You don't do many Battle Royales, right?
I don't do much PvP at all, like in the first place. But I mean, maybe if we want to call it like a small scale PV or small scale battle royale, a Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, no, I think Hunt is it mixes in enemies, but I
subgenre.
actually the way it works, where you're slowly whittling enemies down and all that stuff. I think that it's just
And
smaller.
you have multiple teams starting in the area competing against each other.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair, and it won't change my answer, but it'd definitely be number 2 because that game is hot. The game is really enjoyable. You can do. There's a lot of strategies in that game where Apex feels more like your strategy falls apart the moment people show up. In Hunt, man, I mean, I will always remember some of the moments I've had in Hunt where somebody saved my life or I saved theirs, and you just have that moment of like you're playing a Western, well, with supernatural demons and shit, but Western nonetheless. Let's see. Hastic 100 Electrum or whatever that is. Rank these in orders and I'll buy them starting with rank 1 as I save up. Okay. Dying Light. Okay. He's got a lot here. Dying Light 2, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, Returnal, Weird West, The Ascent, Sniper Elite 5. Sniper Elite 5 is the last. We'll just...
And that one is not out yet.
And it's not out yet.
Bit difficult to rank it.
Well, what do we think's the number one out of those? Dying Light, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, Returnal, Weird West?
It's got to be Ratchet and Clank for me.
Ratchet
that
and
was
Clank.
definitely really solid.
Okay.
Out of those, probably Weird West for me.
Yeah, probably Weird West for
Yeah.
me, too.
Okay.
I'd also go with Weird West.
Man, that's so weird. that we're
West.
all...
Yeah.
I tried to fit the West
I
in,
liked
but
it too.
didn't work.
I liked it too.
What about you, Silver? Any Returnal, Silver? Did you play? No, because you don't have a PS5.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I
the
think
the only game I've played on that list is Dying Light 2.
And you thought it was okay.
I thought it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So the Ascent I love, but I can't really. I mean, from what I understand, the tech issues. I really do like Ascent, but I do hear that there's a lot of co-op tech issues that a lot of people
I
ran
have
into.
played Ascent as well, but I wasn't huge on the Ascent.
Wasn't
like
huge
a lot
on the
of
Ascent.
others.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but if you like Cyberpunk, it's the Ascent. If you like Western stuff, it's Weird West. That's a good question. That's a lot of games, though. By the way, next time maybe not so many games. That's pretty difficult to rate those. So, I think Weird West is number one, and then we got a vote for the Ascent and Rift Apart as 2, and then after that,
I am looking forward to Sniper Elite 5, though. It looks pretty good.
I hope. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll review it. It's
What is the one game? It's something Sniper or
Ghost
Sniper
Warrior,
something.
Sniper
Yeah,
Contracts 2.
they
or whatever.
release so many fucking games, and each and every single one of them is just at best mediocre.
At
They keep
best.
releasing them for some reason, and they don't
Dude.
get better.
Dude, I
They
have that
they just
video at
keep
the starting
going.
of my review for the last one where I climbed up and the ladder never stops, and I just climbed into the sky for the first 35 seconds to review. Like, you're just like, what is happening? Those guys have a good idea. Their ideas sound, but their
Execution.
their execution is executions, man. It's just like, you guys killed it.
I mean,
on
it's
making
all about
sure
the
you didn't
crotch
fix
shots,
any bugs.
right?
No,
That's
because they
80%
don't.
of-
No, because they don't do the
Oh.
same kind of slow-mo X-ray as Sniper Elite does. They do a
Oh,
slow-mo,
is
but
that
they don't
true?
do the
Okay.
they don't do the X-ray. Which, admittedly, once you see X-ray on Sniper Elite, it's very hard to see slow-mo in another game and be excited, because you want to see
True.
somebody's junk explode internally.
Right.
You're like,
Yeah.
I want to see those
Listen,
balls
I admit
explode.
I've aimed specifically for people's balls.
Who
in those
hasn't?
games.
Dude, I aim for balls. Even you can see, I've had people tease my footage in games because I am always balls first in a shooter. I don't know why. I find it funny.
Amazing.
Yeah. So those are, it was Ghost Contracts. Absy is the one you're talking about. Those are,
Yeah.
and they're made by like a
Oh, right,
corporation in
yeah.
Russia, I think, which I don't know if it's affecting this last one. Sniper Elite, though, it'd be interesting to see that it's got a cool idea for PvP. Did you guys see that? Where like an enemy sniper can enter your game?
like an invasion
Oh.
type system.
Yeah.
Oh, like almost a Souls.
Almost a Souls,
Invasion.
yeah. Especially in
Yeah,
that game.
Souls, Deathloop kind of thing. Yeah.
And you'll have to identify, like, are they going to have to stop you from doing your mission? What exactly? Things depend, but it could turn out good.
I think more like probably like I got them. What's the hacking game? Ubisoft. That Ubisoft's hacking game. I
Watch Dogs?
blank on it. Yeah, Watch Dogs.
Watch
no,
Dogs.
sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean a
The invasion
multiplayer like
system in
that?
Yeah, the invasion system I think is similar to that.
I do like the idea of like trying to do a mission and having somebody just waiting somewhere.
Where you have to track them down, find out where they are and stuff.
Right. I hope it's not too overpowered, where like the invading guy can ruin people's games.
Yeah.
Just a jackass tool in there.
And
Did you
has
guys
to
see-
be opt-in, right? Like
Yeah, did you guys see that thing for Dark Souls, or not Dark Souls, but Elden Ring with the panties, with like corrupted panties that
Yep.
like were fucked
Yep.
up as an item, and if a new player got it, it indicated.
Oh
they were
yeah,
happy or
so it's
anything.
Fia's. It was Fia's panties,
Yeah.
I believe, because she wears them, and at some point you can apparently get them, but they scrapped it. And if they see you with that
It
item,
considers you
that you're
hacked
not
it.
Oh yeah. So sometimes what people would do is like hackers would get into your game or invade you or something and make you pick up an item doesn't exist in the game. So then you get banned.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
but
some-
they removed
next
they
level.
removed the yeah.
The fact that
Yeah,
they're
they removed
panties
them.
as well is just an
Yeah,
added.
It's perfect, right?
element.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It is. It is sort of perfect. I mean, it is sort of gaming as like the maturity
Yeah,
of
yeah.
gaming at its height. Right
It's
there
great.
is dirty panties that get you banned. Let's see. So that's it for April. We are coming up into April, May, and then June. So it'll be one more month after
Yeah.
that for the Microsoft event. But in this next month, what do we have? Sniper Elite, Warhammer, Demon Plague Duders, Warhammer 40,000. We have
Well, that samurai game you talked about in your video,
Yomi.
the 2D Yomi.
and then we've
Track
got
to Yomi?
is Quarry out this month or is it next month for Quarry, the new horror game? Do you guys know?
Oh,
That's sort of like the supermassive titles. Because that's coming out too. I believe that might be in
is there June 10th.
June 10th. Okay, so this month won't be filled with stuff, but it'll be interesting to see. So we've talked a little bit about what we've played, talked a little bit about what you guys have played. I do want to pimp the channel for a second. So we're making sure we're doing some editing sometimes on the videos for this podcast and uploading it if it sort of requires that, if we have a lot of ums and ahs and shit like that. But that means that a lot of people miss some of the stuff that I talk about prior to the podcast starting. So if you guys do get a chance, check out Teespring, ACG. You can buy some shirts with some cool designs. I appreciate it. We've got, I think, about 2,400 shirts sold, which from what I understand by talking to other YouTubers, that's considerably higher. I think the designs are pretty sweet. So,
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, check those out. You can use the Amazon affiliate link. And I think that's it. Oh, Salt and Sacrifice, Knight Rider says, is another one. Yeah, because that's Salt and Sanctuary's sequel. And I put that in the video. There's Hail to the King as well, the Evil Dead game.
Austin Winnery do music for that game?
Oh, did he? I don't know. I'll probably...
Was it Salt and Sanctuary? Isn't the one where it's like half an RTS?
Yeah, 2D, half an RTS, yeah.
It's really good. I think Austin Winnery did the music for that.
Yeah, the shirts do ship abroad. They're a little expensive. I dropped the price.
Salt and Sanctuary isn't an RTS. That's a Dark Souls.
No, I thought he said RPG. Sorry, it's a 2D RPG.
Yeah. Oh, Salt and Sanctuary. Okay, no, I was thinking of the one where you play as a mouse and you lead other mice, or like a rat.
No,
and you lead like an army of rats.
Oh, he did
What
do the
fuck
music
was
for that. It
called?
wasn't Moss. It was because I did a early access for the first one. It's dude. Yes, that game is awesome. It's like a mini RTS where you have different mice legions. It's
yes.
Is it something tail?
It's something like something and something, right? That's why
it is. No, you're absolutely right. It is like got the and. But that game, whatever it is, whatever game we're talking about, this is like typical game friends talking when they're like, remember that one game?
Not Ghost of a Tale.
Not
no.
Ghost of a Tale.
Ghost of a Tale was the mouse. Like you.
That one was
mouse,
the
like
I
third
previewed.
person.
That game was awesome. Tooth and Tail.
Tooth and Tail. There
That
we
game.
go. Tooth and Tail.
If you guys get
yeah.
a chance,
I
check
think Austin
that
Winnery
game
did that.
out. Yeah, that game was awesome.
Yeah. Sorry. Salt and Sanctuary I've never played before. Is it good?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
And Salt
It's
and
like a 2D
Sanctuary.
Dark Souls.
It's a 2D RPG / Dark Souls / well, not Dark
Ooh.
Souls. Let's not throw Dark Souls.
Let's not
out there.
Souls everything up. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is.
But I mean, there's bonfires, right? Like we know where.
Yeah, you.
It's
Okay, it's like a
Souls.
Souls like.
yeah,
okay.
but not
Soul
with the
system.
difficulty. That's more roguelike now to me. The bonfire because
So is it like
yeah.
blasphemous?
yeah,
Yeah, like blasphemous.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's like
Okay.
its own thing. The honest truth is, it does
It's
enough
that
different
style.
that it's sort of its
Yeah.
own thing, because it's got some pretty deep RPG like
Nice.
chops for it. So yeah.
Very good. Yeah, maybe I'll pick it up.
Let's see. Reminds me of Clooney the Scourge and the Redwall. I know the Redwall books. I've never heard of Clooney the Scourge. Rats and Nim is sort of like Tooth and Tail as well. But I've never heard of Clooney the Scourge. Interesting. What were we? How did we get onto that? Oh, were we
I have
talking
no
about what
idea
games
what's
are
going
coming
on.
this month? What games are coming?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
this
right, yeah.
month is sort of lean. It'll still be fun. I got to figure out how to cover stuff when there's nothing. Like some of these side games, I enjoy just playing and not like worrying about cutting up and putting a video out for them, and I probably should. Yeah, we're going to talk about Rogue Legacy 2 for sure in just a second, Knight Rider, because these guys, at least 2 or 3 have played this.
It's also included in my update segment. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, what else? Oh, patrons. I do want to say thanks to all the patrons. We usually, or I try to run the trailer video that I have at the starting once a month, usually the last stream of the month. I didn't get to this time because we started early. I apologize, but thank you to all the patrons. You guys do allow the channel to keep going big time, especially now where shit's just so weird. I was helping a person with YouTube yesterday, and he was showing me his analytics, and I was like, man, trying to do a YouTube channel starting out today would be, I wouldn't. I don't know what I would do. It would be on the side, and I certainly wouldn't like quit my job. I always tell people, I'm like, don't quit your job, man, because you have no clue. No clue if it'll work. So people are asking us to talk about the VRR update for PlayStation. So PlayStation did get variable refresh. Yeah, VRR, not VSS. So they got VRR, what was it? Yesterday? Day before? The patch for PlayStation 5? So that it has variable refresh rate. The thing that I didn't like, so I was all excited for this and then started looking at the videos, and it definitely improves a lot, but there are multiple times where something is wrong, especially if you look at Spider-Man footage. A guy did a really good video that they posted where they were showing some slides in Spider-Man, and it's choppy as fuck. And I'm wondering if that's why Sony held off for so long, because this has been on the Xbox for ages. So I'm wondering if Sony held off on VRR because their implementation isn't perfect. Their implementation is, they're using different parts or they different driver ideas. Did you guys see any of these updates? They did Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man. Did you guys see these at all? Am I the only one who's seen any of this? Okay.
I haven't seen it, yeah.
Okay. Well, basically what it does is normally you consider it, if you have a low FPS, you turn it on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 40 or 50, you turn it on.
Or
so
if you don't have
smooth.
VSync on, right?
Yeah, but that 40 or 50 is when VSync would matter because it wouldn't have enough frames to do it naturally. So normally you're thinking low. What Sony did was a little different. They're uncapping the frame rate and turning it on. So weirdly enough, you can have the frame rate capped at 60, right? And its frame timing seems fine. Or you turn this on and then they uncap the frame rate. So instead of going to games that need the frame rate boost, which is sort of what a lot of people expect, that's sort of what VRR is for, they didn't do that in this. Instead, it's like, so you won't get 60 FPS in Spider-Man, you might get 75. So instead of being useful for low FPS games, like I think
Bloodborne,
your brain usually goes to, instead it just gives you higher frame rates in games that already have pretty high frame rates. Not all of them. There was been a couple that were boosted. But Ratchet and Clank has some stutter issues, and so did Spider-Man. But overall, it's gonna be awesome to see. It was really janky, especially in swipes. And we were discussing if it was just footage, so I did it myself. And there's definitely an issue of some kind where it's like got this really weird stutter in.
They just want to pump the frames, man. They wanna lower the gap between PC and console.
Well, it's smart, right? It works.
Yeah, but big numbers I think attract people. So that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm damn, like you made a good point though, because I would love to see, is it like compatible with every game, or is it just like
it's not? It's not. Which is sort of maybe what their issue is, but they have a patch version for games that and patches companies are releasing, and then they have an unpatched version where you can turn it on. But it's not something that you would just want to randomly turn it on for every game. You can test it out though. And Elden Ring it made way worse. Elden Ring looked better for a second, and then and people were discussing that, saying just don't turn it on. It's definitely got issues. I mean,
they actually uncapped the frames for Elden Ring.
Yeah, they did. But the thing is, it's not supported by From. They didn't do.
No, it's not because From actually capped it at 60, like even on PC, right?
Yeah. So, which is weird because Elden Ring's frame rate does take hits, so you would hope VRR would fix that, but instead. They did the opposite. It's just.
I mean, there's a mod now that uncaps it as well on PC.
But
I don't know how good. I don't think that would be like a good idea right now. It's still not performing like the absolute best, right?
Yeah. It's a good first step. They definitely have stuff to fix. I was talking to a programmer early this morning about it, and he was pointing out some of the stuff, and he was saying that what it looks like is, it's just a first pass. It's most likely why they've held off for so long. It's because there are some things to fix. It's a little bit like FPS boost for the Xbox, where it doesn't work for every game. There's like some things you have to do and get sort of prepped, but they're on top of it. It's nice to get. Do we have 1440 yet on the PlayStation?
I hope so. I don't think
No,
we do
not
though.
yet. No.
I thought we did. We don't.
I feel like that's such a. I don't know why they wouldn't, because that's such a good like target for consoles, like just the best of both worlds kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or do they not even have a third option? Like Xbox, like do they?
They don't.
So
You
it's
can't do
either
1440 on
4K
the. Yeah, it's 4K or 1080p right now.
It's either 4K 30 FPS or like 1080p 60. But what if there's like a middle, like 1440p?
Yeah, well,
Well,
a
I
lot of
think
people
they're-
think there is. You know.
Their target like demographic is people with TVs, right? That they're
Yeah.
thinking about mostly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so you don't really get TVs with 1440p.
Chris says no. He's
you
he's
not?
on the PlayStation right now.
do you not
no,
have
most TVs do
1440p
not have
TVs?
no. That's
oh.
no. It doesn't mean that they can't intake for. Mine can intake 1440p, but it'll
Right,
turn
of
it to
course.
4K. Blah blah blah. But it does. But
Yeah.
what happens with the PlayStation is it won't see a 1440 supported something. It doesn't, and that's because there's TVs from Sony don't yet, or
Right.
just now getting updates that do. But that's a lot of us, and there's been a behind the scenes, I guess, beta ring where 1440 was engaged. So
But, like, let's
we
say-
do know it's something they're working on.
Let's say you have your PS5 connected to a 1440p monitor. 4K,
1080p.
I guess. So you can't do 4K within the PS5 and just have it scale down.
It, from what I understand, because I don't have any old monitors. But if you have an old monitor, from what I understand, it just it's directly as a 1080p output from the PlayStation.
Yeah.
5.
So
Oh,
for
shit.
example, I have my PS5 connected to both my TV and my monitor.
Oh, okay.
The monitor is 1440p. When I use that, the signal goes to 1080.
Yeah, it goes to 1080. Yeah.
Which is
so-
still fine. I mean, it looks great,
Mhm.
right, on the monitor, but it is a shame.
Let's see. What do you think of Vampire Masquerade Swan Song? Comes out in May. We'll talk about that in a second. I do want to talk about Vampire Blood Hunt. Anybody done that?
No.
Is that the Battle Royale?
It is,
I
man.
played it back in, I think, beta or something. I played it for like an hour.
Yeah, I
or
saw a
something like
friend play that.
that.
It looked interesting.
Yeah, it was just, it's cool because it's like vampires, but it's battle royale. It's another Battle Royale.
It is weird because I'm not burned out on battle royales or anything, but I did that thing where I signed in and I saw the
Mhm.
classes and I saw the 3 powers and my brain just went "Eh." Like it was weird. I looked at them and everybody knows I actually really do like Vampire the Masquerade. It's one of my favorite worlds. But I got in and I just started looking and Nosferatu and I was like, oh, that's cool. They can turn invisible. Okay. They can do a hammer attack on the ground. I'm like, okay. They can do a, blah, blah, blah. All right. And then pretty soon I was just like, all right, this probably isn't, it's another free to play game. I was talking with Pillow about it yesterday in the chat, day before in the chat. And it's like, it's really hard now. It's really hard to capture, like, you have to have, it's almost like Lost Ark where you have to have a ton of content. Because if
For
you,
Battle Royales?
yeah, because if you don't, it's the same front end for every game. A couple classes with a couple powers. All the powers have building power. You know what I mean? It's like, so it becomes this weird, almost like a mod.
I think at this point, like, you have to do something different enough that it's not even called a Battle Royale anymore. Like, take Hunt Showdown, take Escape from Tarkov. Those
or the
games
building
are unique in their own ways.
what do you call it? The building.
Fortnite? I mean, of course. I mean,
it's
that,
a huge change.
took
to the
over
world.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's so saturated. I don't even know if developers are even looking at that anymore and making. I don't think any Battle Royale is in development right now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to have a spin, right? Some kind of identity. It's almost like the
yeah, but
Souls
the thing
stuff
is,
where
a
we
lot
got
of them
so
do.
many.
Like, look at Spell fucking Force, Spell something.
the-
there
They're
was
just
one.
like literally mages fighting each other, right? But
yes, true. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
true.
that one was really good. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's still not like, it's still you go into
It
it and it's
doesn't
like, okay, this
grab
is like
you
Fortnite
For a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
period of time. Go ahead, Silver.
Yeah.
You were trying to say.
Ubisoft is working on the Ghost Recon Battle Royale, right?
Are they?
Right.
Oh, or the
yeah.
Division one, right?
So
But the Division one, to my knowledge, is more like Escape from Tarkov.
I'm not sure about a Division one,
don't
but
know
I
if it's
like
Division.
the
Exit
Ghost Recon
or
one, like
something?
yeah, I
what
think
is
it's
it,
Ghost Recon.
Frontlines or something.
Yeah. But there's also like the Division one got
whatever it is.
leaked.
Here's
But,
the problem I have with Ubisoft's version is I really liked their last game that came and went already. their battle royale.
Hyperscape.
Hyperscape. I actually thought that was very
that one
fun.
was fun as hell. Me and Rez played it.
Yeah,
too,
it was fun as hell. And because I remember you could watch other people. You could like work as a team. That
you had,
because
like,
we did play together.
Bubble that you would jump on and shit.
Dude, that was so cool.
Right.
And come and went, man.
And
it
didn't grab a lot of people. I think the marketing wasn't really there, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm nervous that we're not gonna like unless somebody comes in. Like Fortnite's got the building. What do you do? Like you have to do. There has to be some.
Well, isn't Fortnite actually adding a mode without the building now?
They did. Yes, they have a mode without building now that people are playing. Yeah.
But are they playing a lot? Because I haven't heard about people saying it's the next best thing.
Idea.
I have a feeling the building will still be the big one, because it is the juice, right? What's Apex's juice? Apex is doing well. The shooting, because the shooting's so good.
The classes and the weapons. The weapons are like Destiny-like weapons. You know, you got like really cool looking designs, and then you got the classes, like the people themselves. I think they play very differently enough that I don't think there's like a class-based battle royale other than that. Or
I think also the graphics probably impress overall presentation.
Yeah.
Help
It
presents very well.
So, are you guys gonna jump into this battle royale?
Hunt?
Or? Yeah.
No,
I don't think so. No, I think I'm over it.
Gotcha.
Maybe. I don't know, man. If a friend were to come to me, be like, "Hey, you want to play this?" I will. I'm not gonna like jump in alone. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if a friend wants to, yeah, sure. Who wants to be my friend?
I think with Blood Hunt, you have a situation where it just needs more, man. I don't know how to describe it. It needs something. It's the same. Like when you see somebody can smash the ground, my soul dies a little bit. Like it's just like everybody can smash the ground.
Another smash
or
the ground,
spin, like the generic berserker spin.
Yeah, well, I can spin in place. Generic. I can turn invisible.
Spin to win. Come on.
Spin to win. Yeah, there needs to be something. I'd be interested if anybody in chat has any like ideas for what a new
we always
thing
get this, Karak, where people go like, well, you give a good idea, then it's like, we're not game developers. We're not saying it's easy to crack the problem of developing a super unique and interesting whatever battle royale, or it's difficult,
right?
But we're just saying that's what it takes, right, to have something that that pops or get lucky.
I mean, if somebody said that, I would simply say we have so many games come and die completely that obviously they need to think of something like that's
right,
we're just
exactly.
agreeing. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. It's like, hey man, stay in your own filth. Why shower? It's like that doesn't make a lot of sense. We're seeing these games come and go. We don't want that. You do want them to offer something new. So, and what's funny is sometimes we'll come up with an idea in the podcast, or I'll see it in chat, and then 6 months later, I'll see a game that has a general idea that's somewhat the same, and I'm like, there you go. It's obvious that a lot of us are thinking the same. We would like to see an improvement.
Exactly. When you start to think about the problem, some of the stuff is like
with Vampire. I will say one of the cool things is the people are the resource, so you can still drink from people to get power. You can
other players
no,
or like
NPCs. You can do that too, but NPCs and different.
Okay.
Some of the races have like the ability to like cause the humans to not run away if there's a battle, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So this is very cool. There was some cool ideas there, but it's it's just sitting on my hard drive. Unfortunately, probably won't get played. It's just the way it is. So we are seeing updates for systems. We're seeing that. We're seeing some new free-to-play games. Let's talk about updates overall. Let's go with that first, Abzy. Let's do
already.
Let's start with updates.
Damn,
to
we're
games.
feeling spicy today, huh?
Yeah, because you got. I mean, in the past we've had a lot, and they've branched out convo. So I think it's best to do this a little early.
Oh, there's a lot this week as well. First of all, Dying Light 2, they added New Game Plus. But what's cool is that in New Game Plus, they've changed enough that make it significantly different than the main game. They have modified game parameters. So they implemented unique systems and an experienced player can go through the story again with revitalized mechanisms. Got new enemy behaviors, more difficult encounters, new objects in the world, and many other challenges. 30 new inhibitors, new platinum objectives for parkour challenges, new legendary weapon tier, gold encounters, and the enemy difficulty scales with your level. So that's what you get with New Game Plus. By the way, free update. They also fixed co-op bugs, improved co-op performance, fixed quest bugs, gameplay bugs. With the co-op bugs, they actually fixed a lot of the visual bugs as well. You know, like the jitteriness and a lot of like the animation issues you would get in co-op. And then they made some UI and UX updates. They added an FOV slider on PS5 and Xbox Series X. Cool to see an FOV slider for a console. And they improved the stability overall. And then we have Sifu, which just released a roadmap with a bunch of free updates. And the first one's hitting us at May 3rd in the spring. And what it's going to include is difficulty options, you know, so you can, you know, set it easy, hard, medium. I don't know what the current state of Sifu's difficulty is, like if that's considered hard or normal, but they're adding difficulty options, advanced training, and outfit selection on May 3rd. In the summer, they're going to add advanced scoring and gameplay modifiers, which is really fucking cool. Kind of fuck, what was that word? Whatever. Gameplay modifiers. So it could be like no pendant, 1 health point. So if you get hit, you die. You can't guard, stronger enemies, golden staff, all skills unlocked, or the whole game in bullet time. You know, a bunch of like different modifiers to the game that spice things up playthrough after playthrough. And new outfits. In the fall, you're going to get a replay editor and new modifiers and outfits. And in the winter, a new game mode called Arenas, which I'm thinking is just, you know, hack and slash arenas, and new modifiers and outfits. All free. Forza Horizon 5 got a huge update, a bunch of bug fixes. They added over 200 new Horizon Tour events. They improved the UI flow and more stability improvements. And now we got 3 games that left early access this week: Galactic Civilizations 4, King Arthur Knight's Tale, which I talked about a little bit previously, and Rogue Legacy 2. With Rogue Legacy 2 leaving early access, they also added new classes, better localization, improved quality of life, effects overhaul, and an economy and game balance rehaul. And Flight Sim got a bunch of bug fixes. Yeah, that's it.
Sorry, somebody's in here complaining because somebody said they didn't think that the VRR was perfect on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like we bitch about Microsoft, or somebody in chat does, and people are like, "No, man, you fucking."
So that we bitch about Nintendo so much, etc. We bitch about.
It doesn't. It literally. There's always somebody who's carrying the company on their back like a pariah, and it's like, don't, man. Yeah. Criticism is not the same as fanboyism. Yeah. Criticism is needed, and it's okay to say a first attempt is not the great. I had. Do you know where I really suffered this? Was FSR's first attempt in games. And I was like, guys, it ain't great. It's terrible. And I had people being like,
DLSS 1 as well, right?
DLSS 1 was in some yes, overall it wasn't as good. I think FSR was actually worse overall, at least my experiences. But I had people coming after me for Far Cry because Far Cry's implementation was dog shit. And I had people being like, well, this person doesn't say so. And I'm like, that person doesn't ever talk about graphics tech at all. Like, of course they're not. You know, I don't know if they've got Vaseline on their fucking eyes. Like, I have no clue. But it's like at some point, man, it's okay to be like, these things are not. They're awesome. Yeah. That's why we're talking about them in the first place.
A great initiative.
Yeah, it's just
that it has issues in its current.
It's what we talked about prior to the podcast, man. If you're not with us, you're against us. It's fucking Sith and Jedi these days, and it's like I refuse to be that. I'll be right in the middle, and you know, people say you'll get hit by cars, and I'll be like, fuck them, I'll destroy the car. There's no way I will punch through that bitch because I do not believe in that bullshit of like. Super harsh one way or the other. It's like these things are awesome, and like Abzi said, it's bringing the PlayStation and the consoles closer to PCs, which is only a plus for people who don't have a lot of money. So, but you can point out that they ain't great. In fact, PC ain't great either, because look at me running Magpie and other programs on top of DLSS to get it to do exactly what I want. It's not perfect on PC. Didn't you post that a couple days ago, Reg, in the chat? You're like, PC is easy, because somebody had some other issue. Somebody had. Oh, and we were in
Dude,
our.
I updated my BIOS, and now my PC takes like a minute to boot. So, yeah.
yeah, PCs are easy.
I think
just
the
so
only
everybody
thing that
knows
gives
that
me
every
comfort-
system has issues. Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing that gives me comfort is if something goes wrong, I know maybe I can look something up and fix it. But if something crashes on like a console, I'm like, well, all right. I'm just gonna chill, send it back.
Because that's my defense a lot of times for people is I'll be like, listen, you turn it on the PC and it's supposed to just work. And that's sort of gone the way of the Dodo, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really, what
I feel
we're
like
getting
as consoles are getting closer to PC, we're seeing a lot more.
Well, also
issues,
more complicated games, right? Where so you see games themselves have more issues, and I don't know if it's games themselves getting more complicated. I wonder what you guys
Corona
think.
as well, maybe,
Or,
and people staying at home, and
or standards dropping a bit, because it used to be that it was unacceptable for your game to crash on a console, right? That was kind of the selling point.
Yeah, it's gone.
And
That's
now,
gone.
isn't it almost common to see like one crash at least in your playthrough?
It's pretty
in a
common to
console game?
see. It's pretty common to see, something along those lines, which is really sad. But we do, and you know me, I'm still on the old style. So when I review a game, I have people be like, "You're too hard on this game. A crash or two is acceptable." I'm like, "Fuck you, it's acceptable." It's absolutely not acceptable. Like,
Not in
I
a
don't think it
closed
is.
System.
No. And so I'm just harder on it. But consoles have definitely changed a little bit, in there. I joke about this all the time, but like the fucking 7 Days to Die console edition, which was their beta version that they tried to sell, and that was sort of one of the first ideas I got where console had sort of gone weird, where it was like, oh shit, we're getting like beta early access on Xbox,
stuff.
Is early access. They'll tell you, so I'm okay with a crash on an early access game, but on a
one thing
and
they're missing now
happen.
is like mod support, for every game. That'd be great.
Dude, everybody's missing that.
But you'll be more, it'll crash way more probably, right? With all the different modifications for gaming.
Yeah, but I think that to me is a bit more acceptable, because you
for sure,
almost
100%.
sign a waiver, right?
sign-
when you
yeah,
enable
yeah.
a mod, you're like,
you know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the more variables you introduce, the less stable things are going to be.
Of course,
I mean,
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, games used to crash less, but that was also at a time when we didn't have apps installed on our consoles as well.
And no graphic
It's actually one of the
options.
things I talked about when the Xbox originally came out, Silver, was the apps. A lot of people were not talking about the consoles getting all these apps, which leave strings running on threads, all this shit, something in the background, taking a little bit of.
Fast
you're
switching
absolutely
between
right.
games and apps and stuff too.
Yeah. You're because they want to be like PCs in that way, which is funny because I don't know about you guys, I don't really switch PC games as fast as I do Xbox games.
I don't.
Does that make
because I don't
sense?
have two. I don't get two games running at the same. Like I don't.
Me neither.
I
never
don't do that.
I know.
You know,
So
like,
it's cool that it's there, and they're saying that,
Yeah.
that Windows is going to have it. Maybe even Windows has some beta of this, but overall, that's not a big deal to me. Like I'm okay.
and
with
we're
two
also
games.
seeing more and more graphic options pop up in console, like
which
motion
is
blur and
FOV.
processing and FOV now. FOV is probably
the best.
like what but that was needed because fuck me if you're not happy with an FOV and on
Dude,
console,
if you're not happy with an FOV, you're screwed. Like
you're
that's
screwed,
the one thing.
You just get sick. Just get
You
sick
just
and
get
deal
sick.
with it. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting stuff. But moving on from there, we did get a super chat. Somebody said, "This is Vintage Origin, all legit. $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. It definitely helps. Has anyone watched the Halo show? It's good enough to me. Works as a prequel before Chief became the stoic badass. I know everyone hates it, but I like it. Not everybody hates it because I've seen people in our Discord who have been enjoying it. Mr. Agent says, I'm still laughing at, I updated my BIOS. Now my PC takes 1 minute to boot. Has anybody seen Halo?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
I have not.
Does
My takeaway from the criticism
Mhm.
is that it's very different from the games, and it departs so much that people are unhappy.
Mhm.
But I've only heard this criticism from hardcore fans, where anything that differs whatsoever would be unacceptable, right? And I'm always on the side of
There's
I'm
no
okay with a
winning.
fresh take.
There's no winning, because if you try to do something different, you're gonna get called out. If you try to do the same exact thing, you're gonna get called out.
True.
So
Can I,
you know,
a side point to that, I'm not going to be Johnny and say devil's advocate, but I'm going to be close. The director said he purposely didn't talk about Halo, the game, at all while making the show.
Yeah.
At some point, you do have to say, why call it Halo, other than the attempt to grift fans.
I view that as a red flag, by the way, actually.
Yeah, that particularly, when you do get that, then you, and it's the same thing, Robert Patterson, I don't know if you guys remember, he got a bunch of shit for saying he wasn't going to lift weights for Batman. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
So, and by the way, he even said later, he's like, that's not actually, I was sort of just, he was being hyperbolish. And you can tell when you see the show, he's definitely, like, he's not beefy or anything, but he's obviously not fat. And
yeah.
So I think you don't know if this guy was truly saying that or what, but I do think that when you say, hey, this thing is called this thing, which, and has this main character and all this, but we didn't even.
So what are we doing here?
What are we doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Are you just exploring the world, pretending that Master Chief is an NPC in it, which is fine, but you have to be clear. I do think that the fact that we haven't all watched it is an indicator. However, I always think
I
that.
don't even have that subscription service it's on.
But you could find it.
Yeah, I don't know
if you wanted to watch it.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Probably.
Oh yeah.
For
Let's
that,
be
I
honest.
would have to more than passing interest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks for itself, if that makes sense.
I mean,
Our
I
lack
love the
of
webisode
seeking it
ones.
out. Oh, the webisode ones were so good, man.
Yeah, I really, and when Master Chief shows up, it's like it was really hype. I really enjoyed it. But I mean, I haven't seen any other. I mean, I've watched obviously Red versus Blue and all those.
Yeah.
But,
I always bring it back to The Witcher, where people, like there was some care and some level of appreciation for the original source material. That even though it was totally different, it doesn't really follow the game, right?
Yeah.
But like you could tell people gave a fuck about trying to
Well,
match
and also your lead actor did. Cavill's a Witcher nerd, and he stated he actually tells the director if they're making a mistake. He'll be like, that won't fit for us. So maybe that's the perfect.
Yeah, because the story they're
mess.
It's like the story they're going after the books, and then the character himself
is a bit more like a game.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a mix
Romello is a $5. I think it's Canadian.
Because in the books. Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Say, yeah, okay.
Go ahead. No, go.
You
want to get this out.
In the books, Geralt is like very ugly and not like very, chivalrous and stuff. He's more of like a,
I wasn't aware of that. Okay, so and so obviously the game is more toward, even though Geralt wasn't like a looker on Witcher 3. He didn't. No,
but he's more of like a ladies' man. He's like James Bond,
right?
Know what I mean?
The James Bond of albino Witcher drug users.
Yes,
$5 super chat. The director didn't play the game. Was a line taken out of context. They were referring to a recent visit to 343. They all played the games. Correct. What I'm saying is, I am pretty sure that he stated that when they were making the show, they literally didn't talk about Halo. I could be wrong on this, but that's not exactly what I read. But that's good to know that part at least was taken out of context. So,
I had heard at least the actor, for example, made a point to not.
Yeah, the actor did make a point to not at all be involved with Halo, but again, whatever. It is what it is. People, we'll see how I don't mind. Like if it's good and people like it, let them like it.
Yeah, that's true. If it was a different take, something fresh, but they had the kind of love and appreciation for the source material, it would be different, I think, because it comes across, right, where there's some level of.
I have a question for you guys then. Would this maybe have been a better show if it had been based on the game I don't like, but everybody else does, which is ODST? Would it have been a better show?
Yes.
Right,
yeah,
to have
so.
like a SWAT, but in space.
I feel like because a lot of, media right now, like modern media is just character driven. And I think with ODST, when you have a lot, like a squad and how they overcome challenges together, I think that would play better in a TV show. Yeah.
Also fear,
But
right?
I also don't know what the Halo show is about.
Yeah,
So
true.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I can't really.
I think fear is a big thing, and the Master Chief is never afraid, which is great
Yeah.
in a game when it's not a horror game. But I think for a TV show, a squad would be, they could die. Like Master Chief, is anybody expecting him to die at the end of the season? No.
No, I mean the game is all about killing aliens. A
Yeah,
TV
that's
show,
true.
a
There's
TV
no
show should be
tension.
about a TV show should be
Yeah.
about how they like even in zombie shows and stuff. It's not about zombies. It's about like how
right.
people it's about the people always, right? So,
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
mulch factory of humans being killed left and right. You know,
Mhm.
Well, look at
Yeah.
Lost. Lost had a insanely high death rate. You know,
yeah.
some of them,
And it's super character driven.
and it's super character driven. Yeah, even though I know a lot of people don't like.
It's
Lost,
pretty much
but-
almost exclusively character driven.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
story wise, after a while there was no real.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
the overarching plot was a little lost on everybody, so it was certainly
lost.
story.
Yes.
Yeah,
quite
it was like
literally.
Battlestar, where they get in the middle and they're like, we're sort of out of the original idea. Let's just do shit, and it becomes character driven, which can be awesome. Because
Yeah.
I also don't need everything explained. I'm okay with that, and I'm okay. You know, I don't like
the characters
JJ's
well.
level of mystery box. A little less would have been cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That dude's like a D&D generator with no climax generated. It just rolls on a fucking random generator sheet. Polar bear, fucking.
You nailed it. That's the problem, because the whole thing with generating tension and mystery is that at some point you resolve it
Yeah,
and you
no,
get the
no, no.
payoff, the
Yeah.
sweet payoff. But with him, it's like sex without the orgasm.
Yeah, dude, he's just pumping away for hours, and which can be fun, but man, after a while, you're like, what?
Yeah, like can we
What was the smoke machine?
get somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, so we haven't seen that. It's a good question. There we go with a good question. Some people are saying that they do not believe that the show is good, even if you take the Halo part out, which is also possible. Picard is not good. Sorry.
It is not. I tried like
And
two
that has a
solid
great
times
character.
on it.
And yeah. Picard is solidly showed that it does not
man.
matter. You have to have a good show. You know, you can
Yeah.
have a great character, but if the show is not good, it is just not good. And I'm not saying Discovery not good, where it's just all over the place. I'm saying Picard really isn't that
had
good.
the chops
it's got the
potentially,
chops.
too.
Yeah, and it's all over the place. And it's got great return characters. It's got all the guys returning. You know, I mean, I think 80% of the main cast has returned
What
to
do
the
you
show
think
at
it
different
is,
times.
dude? That it hasn't.
Fuck, I don't know, man. You know,
Yeah.
okay, I'll just say this. That one has become very PC. And
Playing it safe.
I do
like-
believe playing it safe makes it hard, because how do you hate a bad guy when the bad guy has to be liked? And every game
Yes.
and TV show in the last 10 years has been like, he's a bad guy, but he's got a reason. Sometimes the scariest bad guys are the ones with no real, they're just like,
Yeah,
they
reckless
may
son of
not
a
be
bitch.
as interesting, but they're just, you're just like, wow, go ahead,
Right?
Silver, though. Silver might be disagreeing. What was saying, Silver?
It just like I haven't seen Picard, but like I've heard from Trek fans that one of their main issues with it is that it's sort of lost sight with what Star Trek is to them,
That's what I heard as well.
where you have a character with like a sword running around decapitating people, which is not very Star Trekky.
That's a little farther than I got. Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting. I'm going to check it out, though. I'm going to check it out. Let's see. As someone who's, this is Remello again, $5 Remlo. I might be pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. As someone who's older and has played Halo for 20 years, I do enjoy the Halo show. I suggest watching and ignoring the vitriol online. Well, sometimes the vitriol isn't the issue. I didn't want to see it prior to hearing anybody complaining.
I think
Does that
that's
make sense?
the thing. Yeah, it hasn't generated the interest.
Yeah.
It feels like, because none of us have gone out of our way to.
Right, and I would
Gotcha.
say all of us have watched a show that we all others hate. Does that make
I
sense?
guess
Like,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
our vitriol to us doesn't matter. Like, if you guys are like, your show's stupid, Karak, I'll be like, fuck you, I'm watching anyway. And you guys would do the same to me. I don't think we
Dude,
really...
they're stranding all the time. with games, right? I mean,
don't get
Oh
it.
no! Oh no!
What were you going to say, Silver? I'm just going to move on.
I-
I'm not even going to talk about Death Stranding.
I guess for my part, it's also just that I saw Forward Unto Dawn, like when they made that, like the short film,
Yeah.
Halo short film they made.
Did you like it or not
Uh,
like it?
I liked it.
Oh, yeah, me
actually.
too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
same.
It was
Yeah,
decent.
I started with
And,
webisodes and then made it.
and
into a
outside
movie.
of that, I don't really feel a particular need to sort of engage
In
into the
Halo
Halo
IP.
universe
Yeah.
I think I feel the same way. Honestly,
I feel the same way, probably. I
on
don't
a
know.
like show or film basis.
Yeah.
Like that film delivered what it had to me.
Do you know what it is, dude?
That's a good
It's
point.
like,
Yeah.
what do you want from something? And you go to McDonald's, you want a burger. You're not going there for the salad.
And I think-
And with Halo, you want a game, right? You just want to just shoot some shit.
And I
like,
guess
crack a
so.
beer, shoot
just-
some shit.
Also, partially to your point of whether an ODST show would be better. From how I understand it, Master Chief is the main character of the Halo show, right?
Yeah, that is for sure.
Which is, I think, the mistake, because part of why Forward Unto Dawn works so well is that you only see
Yep. You only
Yes.
see him
the
at the end.
Master Chief
That's what made
through,
it so
through the
hype.
eyes of others.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And they
So-
were in fear, Silver. Those guys
Yeah.
were trained. Some weren't the greatest. Some were really good, remember? Because it showed them going through school.
Yeah.
But there was real fear. You didn't even see the Covenant. You just heard, they were like, people are being
Yeah.
attacked. What's going on? And then he shows up at the end and you're like, America, or wherever you're
Yeah.
from. Canada. I don't think
Yeah,
Canada's ever
yeah.
said that, but
No, fuck no.
Yeah.
dude. No, or that's exactly.
my drift, though.
Exactly. That's fucking super. Yeah, that's very true. Like something like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, where you see Darth Vader, right? Something like that, where it's like, holy shit, I know this character, and he's like a badass.
Right.
Like he's been a main protagonist or antagonist before, but now seeing him from a different perspective, it just like it has that oomph. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got that push. And you don't need
yeah,
to be Darth
yeah.
Vader in it to have the push. You don't
Yeah.
need to be Darth Vader. You can, in
Exactly.
fact, a lot of times on the side characters where they're skirting away from a big baddie is better because you guys saw the TV show that was doing the Stormtroopers, right? It was like the YouTube channel that they did the life of Stormtroopers, and it was like filmed like cops, but it was Stormtroopers, and I think there was one season. And if you haven't seen this show, you need to see it. It's on YouTube, and I believe it's called Troopers. But it's just them busting up fights with Ewoks and shit. Like normal shit. It's hilarious. But how many times have you seen a show and you're like, I wonder what that guy's doing back there? Like,
Yeah,
what's it
yeah,
like working? You're working on a tool and two dudes with lightsabers suddenly are fighting behind you, and you're like, what the fuck's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah,
What's happening?
yeah,
You
yeah.
run off and you tell your wife, you're like, I was just doing this thing and the people fucking came in. And so
Yeah.
having those stories are cool.
That sounds like a sitcom. Like a
Yeah,
good
well,
sitcom.
Troopers was a sitcom. If anybody hasn't
Okay.
seen that, check it out on YouTube. Anybody in chat, check it out on YouTube. Tell me if you like it. I don't think they're going anymore. Vintage said $5 super chat. Do you guys watch Angry Joe's reviews of Picard? I don't watch the show, but I watch his reviews. No, I haven't seen it. I do watch some of his stuff, but I haven't.
I watched some
seen
of his stuff. I don't really watch his like movie or like I've seen like a couple game
show
reviews.
stuff. Yeah. What were
Yeah, I
you
don't
gonna
watch
say, Silver?
the show stuff.
I didn't see Angry Joe's review, but I did see Red Letter Media's Picard reviews.
Red Letter Media is he the one who used to talk all the time about pizza rolls and having a person having a chick in a dungeon? He would like sort of ramble off on his reviews. Is that Red Letter?
Yeah. For the Plinkett reviews.
Yeah,
there was
Plinkett reviews. That's
sometimes-
dude. I found
yeah.
those fucking hilarious. Those cracked me up. I don't know what he does now. I haven't checked it in a long time. But seeing Vader at the end of Fallen Order was so awesome. I love that he leaned heavy on the fear aspect. Fear aspect in Fallen Order.
Oh yes. So when Darth Vader shows up and you see the
Yeah.
sheer power of what
Oh,
he can do,
Right.
And they're like,
dude,
fucking
they
run.
strike like the
Yeah,
fear
yeah.
and the one woman's like eyes and like her fucking facial her animations.
Although, well,
and
Abzi,
then what?
I'm sorry, but to be fair, her eyes are always popping off.
Yeah, okay, but like you could sense her fear like super well, right? But and then when he comes in and he just fucks everything up, and you're just running away from him, it's like holy shit, like you when you see it through someone else's perspective, it's like holy fuck, this guy is a legend, you know?
Yes.
All right. Moving
Yeah.
on from there, talking about another perspective, let's jump from Sony and Vader to Microsoft. So Microsoft announced June something. They're doing their own event, which I believe is lined up with the exact day E3 would have been. So they're basically still doing their E3, from what I can tell, with their date.
June 12th.
June 12th,
they're
which,
doing
by the way,
Xbox
anybody,
and
we will be
Bethesda
streaming
Game
that.
Showcase.
That must be a Sunday, right? Is that a Sunday? I'm looking. June 12th. Yep. So they normally do their stuff on Sunday. So this will be June 12th, a Sunday. If you guys want, you can jump in here. I'll be streaming it. Microsoft will be showing their stuff. They got some space going on. You notice the little Xbox. They got the little, looks like, almost like Mass Effect-ish. I'm assuming it's about Starfield. I believe this will probably be our first big look at Starfield.
Okay.
That would be my personal guess, unless they decide.
We're gonna see an ugly Bethesda NPC.
Oh God.
And
where are they now?
I'm just preparing myself, dude. It's
I don't know, man. Like the
Low
little
expectations,
chops,
exactly.
man. The little
Yeah.
chops they showed, it's like I don't know, dude. They've been with Fallout and Elder Scrolls for so long, and this is like a new IP. I really think just give them the benefit of the doubt.
Listen, I'm lowering my expectations as much as I can, Abzi.
I know, it's just, I mean, I love their games, like except Fallout 76, so I can't really be like.
Me too, man. It's more like from a graphical standpoint, like those NPCs and stuff.
I guess so.
Have you guys ever seen somebody using Zoom and you can touch up a person's face? If you turn it too high, they start glowing. That's what everything from them has always looked like. And they haven't stepped it up with facial textures and animations.
No.
If they do,
Ubisoft had like everyone looking like they have a double chin.
Yeah, if they do, if they get past Outer Worlds, because I think Outer Worlds looked pretty good, but it was a little bit more cartoony, I would say. I thought Outer Worlds looked a little cartoony in whatever they were doing. If they do step it up, man, it's going to be that's not all I want, but that'll be a huge step. Like if they show a character and like, this is your guy, and we get to finally see a dude who looks current gen. That's all I'm asking, because they have other stuff that's beyond any other games, like interactivity and with every item. If they show that, that'll be a good thing. And then I want to see them run around and climb something, because Bethesda animations are notoriously dog shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, especially in third person.
Especially in third person. If they show an improvement to both of those, that'll be a positive to me. I'm excited to see whatever it is, because I want a space game.
I think for me it would be like the RPG mechanics, if they
But
step
don't
it
you
up
think
and...
don't you think they've nailed that already?
Yeah, but then Fallout 4 was a little bit down from what they had in like their previous titles. I feel like with the choice and consequence and stuff like that, like the factions, and it was a little bit less on the like, it was less RPG heavy. I like them to go back to like being more RPG heavy.
Okay.
Like,
I guess
like
they're
Obsidian.
so RPG heavy that even if they step down, they're still more than most. So I guess I was okay with Fallout 4.
Yeah, in this
if
day
that
and
makes
age,
sense.
you're right. And this, I mean, like most RPGs right now are mostly action games with like skill points, right? So
yeah, I liked Fallout 4 though. Admittedly, I was one of the few that really enjoyed that. So what do you guys? What's everybody looking for from Microsoft? It doesn't have to be Starfield. Is there any?
Avowed.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's a fantasy game.
Obsidian.
Yeah, because I love Pillars of Eternity and I love that world, and yeah, I'm excited.
Everybody in chat, what are you hoping for from Microsoft? What about you, Silver? Is there anything? I know you don't watch these religiously, but is there anything from Microsoft in particular? Because you do have an Xbox, you do have a PC. Is there Game Pass stuff you want to see? Is there mod stuff for consoles you want? Is there something that's like hot and heavy?
I'd love to see more of an expansion on Flight Simulator. Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, that would be maybe something. Did you see the boat that a mod maker had made, Silver, for that?
No,
a boat.
Yeah, they made a boat, and it works because they modeled the water. Yeah. So I was just like, wow, that's not
awesome.
what I was expecting.
So like a boat simulator.
Yeah. What do you
within
think?
Flight.
Do they already have a bunch of helicopters in that game, or any helicopters, Silver? Do you know? I haven't played it.
I think they made one helicopter. Yeah.
So what would you like to see overall? Performance, or are you looking for items? Like planes?
Not really performance, but just more airports, more regions accurately modeled in the game. Like we have seen them actually adding. So just keep adding. Yeah.
Do you do that on PC or console, Silver, if you do play it?
Both. I tend to do it mostly on console these days.
Yeah, did you think the controls? I felt the controls worked fine on console. Once I learned the idiosyncrasies, I felt it was completely flyable. I mean, it's not like you're turning barrel rolls and. Oh, they do have the Top Gun add-on though, don't they? Don't they have an F-14 coming? I think they do have like a Top Gun merge.
They do have jets, I think now. Like fighter jets.
Yeah.
But with the controller,
But-
do you go like
but that's
full manual?
Not what I'm flying. No,
I do. I do. You don't have to, but well, I'll say I wouldn't say all the time. You can. You can. It's flyable.
And how do you like
fully.
interact with all the switches?
It's bumper, a lot of modifier buttons. But
Oh,
I gotta
shit,
tell you,
okay.
their tutorial. I don't know if Silver agrees, but I felt the tutorial on console was ace. Like they were like 747. Here's your controller. Hit this. Look here. And once you sort of identify the panels, this is your panel for this stuff. Pretty soon, I was able to take off and land completely manual with the controller. It wasn't like Elite because you're not dogfighting. You're not, which then there might be some issues, I would assume. What about you guys, Microsoft? Reg?
Probably, what's it called? A Plague Tale? Requiem?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they have I
Oh,
think
is
they
that
have
Microsoft?
no, but they have a PR deal with Focus, I think, for that game.
Oh yeah, first day Game Pass, right? Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Trek to Yumi is also first day Game Pass, and it's
Mhm.
coming out in like 6 days. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, go
Other
Microsoft.
Worlds 2? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Dude, that'd be a hit, wouldn't it? If they were like Starfield. But guess what, bitches? One space game
We
isn't
got
enough.
the better space game.
We
also
got
coming.
the
I have a
better.
good question.
That would be rude. We got one that'll actually work coming out as well. Anyway, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I have a good question. So what do you want? Do you want Starfield 2 to be like a direct sequel where you take your character and go into a new game?
Do you
Or
mean
would
Outer
like it to
Worlds
be
too?
Outer Worlds
Yeah.
2? Or
So you're like
listen.
Starfield 2. I'm like, dude.
We're a little bit far
If
away
I'm
from
here,
that.
I might choke on a fucking Dorito by that point. But
No, and or would you like to see just like a more open world, or would you like them to have the same kind of thing?
I loved the planet to planet because I just hub world stuff like Mass Effect. I'm way into that versus open world. Let Outer Worlds do, or let now you got me doing it, fucker. Let Starfield do the full thing. Yeah. Dude, I loved each planet was different. It was like Ewoks and Frozen Planet. You know, it was like Star Wars, man. You went to each one. Was there a lava planet? No.
No, but there was also a huge city, and it's cool
Asteroid
because you saw
city.
like different corps and like different.
And
like, different
admittedly, do you know what I
factions.
want to see, Abzi? I don't know if you guys agree, but both on both these games is more NPCs because Outer Worlds had like 6 guys running the entire economy for a massive city, and you were like,
Yeah.
you know, it was like the same 12 rednecks from Kentucky all interbreeding and running their own town, and you're like, dude, come on, man, this is sort of like, let's get.
I like more
High
social.
level.
I like my favorite thing in these games are the social interactions.
You mean
the
like helping
dialogue you
a
have with
quest,
people.
or do you mean like being bitchy? to
Just
someone?
like dialogue in general with people, like how they interact
the
and
dude with the moon head.
Oh
right?
my God,
mean,
yeah.
one
That
of
guy's
the
great,
best
yeah.
And
characters.
guys, when you
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
the Moonhead, I don't know if it was, but that was immediately my mission was to get that. Like the moment I saw he had a Moonhead, I was
Yeah.
like, that has to be a helmet in the game. Please be a helmet in the game because I gotta find that. They
Did you guys-
they had. Oh, go ahead.
Did any of you max charisma to the highest stat? So I did
No,
that.
I couldn't even finish the game, sadly.
Oh no, I did
Bugs?
that.
Sorry, I gotta ask him real quick.
Oh, okay,
Bugs, or
sure,
you didn't
sure.
like it?
No, I didn't. I could not gel with that game at all, unfortunately, which was hugely disappointing for me
Okay, gotcha.
because I
All
did
right.
look forward to it.
That's fair. All right. Go ahead, Abzi.
Yeah, so if you do that, there's a cool like little Easter egg where in the main city where you have to get through a door, you gotta talk to a guard. And if you have 100 charisma, you can literally Jedi mind control him.
Yeah,
and do
I saw
move
that.
Move along now. Yeah, it's a good time, yeah.
So Reg is saying he'd like to see Outer. I think that would be so. Avowed Outer Worlds are both there. Johnny, is there any stuff for you?
Honestly, what excites me the most is stuff that we haven't heard about. That they come out with some really cool game and they go like, "Hey, this is on Game Pass," you know, today. Day one. Because I have a feeling they're saving something like that to kind of come out with a splash. You know, something they haven't announced yet. So that would be my hope.
People know more than me. Maybe you guys know, but I'm sure somebody in chat is going to be like, "You're wrong. It's impossible." I would like to see the next Gears, something involving the next Gears official next Gears game. I really did think the last one was great. I also
Yes.
loved Gears Tactics. So if they were like, you liked Gears Tactics, here's Gears Tactics 2.
So
And
I definitely liked Gears Tactics more than the mainline Gears title. So for me, a
more
title
than the
like
last
that
one,
would
or
be
all
way
of
more
them?
Interesting.
All of them? All the Gears title? Like all
Well-
1, 2, 3? You liked Tactics better than all those?
Yes. Yeah.
Shit. Well, and that's the thing. Now you get to if you don't, you will play them. You're not saying they're terrible. You're just like, you like them better. The cool thing is,
No,
if,
I just like they're still good games. I just like Tactics more.
and now
still.
people can jump into Gears through Tactics and not play, if they don't want to, they can play Tactics and still get the story of Gears. They're still going to have some, some stuff
Yeah.
that involves those. Dude, Gears Tactics was so
So actually,
Gears
this ties
Tactics
into...
was everything Halo Wars wanted to be and failed utterly at. Sorry, I was not a Halo Wars fan.
No, it's true.
What were you
It was
saying?
a really good combo of genres. So I read today that the guys from Gears 5 were originally working on like a content patch that was going to allow you to create missions, like custom missions and stuff like that. I forget exactly the naming they had for that. But they've forgone that, so they've ditched that.
I heard that, yeah.
Of brand new projects. Now, I don't know if that means a different team is working on the new Gears, or if they're kind of taking a break from Gears altogether and doing something else.
I mean, Gears is their
Bread
Gears
and butter,
is,
right?
Gears is one of their bread and butter, so I'd be surprised if there wasn't a Gears and a Gears.
And
I mean,
it's
Gears
done
Tactics
well,
sold
right?
really well.
With-
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so did Outer Worlds. So it's like, we know Outer Worlds 2 is being made because they fucking showed, the trailer for it. So we know that, but what I'm hoping for is Tactics and Gears to be shown, even in trailer form, say, yes, we are doing these. And yes, we are going back to Marcus and Dom. I'm just joking. You can't do that. But I like those original characters in 1 and 2 a lot. I didn't mind the ones in the newer ones, but I didn't like Judgment so much. I don't know if you guys did. Wasn't it Gears of War Judgment?
No, right.
Yeah, I didn't like Judgment. I didn't like 4. I liked 5 a lot.
That was the one with Baird as the main character.
Baird,
I think.
yeah. 4, dude, I've liked all the Gears in some way.
Right.
I don't remember anything about 4 at all.
I just
It's
don't like
gone.
fighting. I don't like the I love the gore and Gears and like chopping people
And what happened
seeing
in
blood and
4?
stuff. There's just a lot of robots at the start that made me like bounce off really, really
Well,
fast.
remember Halo 4 had the same thing. Halo 4, you win against, I didn't mind them, the Tron-looking bad guys. I can't remember
Those
their
were
names.
cool. Those
I
were
thought
like
they were cool, but a
Proteus,
lot of people hated them.
Proteus, Protoss, Starfield, not Star. Fuck me, dude.
Yeah, you got
Spacecraft.
Starfield on it.
Starcraft, Protoss from Starcraft. God damn. there's so
Reading
many
some of the
stars.
stuff in here,
Very
looks like people want to see the same stuff we talked about.
Okay.
State of Decay 3, yes, it is in development hell, which is weird because I heard from someone that it was months and months and months ago.
Oh,
And
man.
the rumor died out, but that was months and months and months ago. And then just now, we got the news story that it is in development hell. If that's that long, like, if it's been in development hell that long, that makes me very nervous. Like, very, very nervous for that title because I'm a big
Don't
State
be
of Decay
surprised
fan.
if we get a Skyrim Windows Store edition or some other name edition. Like, this is totally new, guys. This is now on the store. You can do mods. Like,
As nobody says anything. I'm so Skyrimmed out that
They released it again recently. I thought they did.
yeah, they
right?
did. They released something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they've
They
released
did.
so
They did like a
many.
remaster or something.
Yeah, well, was it the next gen
Like a
version?
graphics update or next gen version
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Skyrim's Deck Edition, Skyrim Steam Deck. Well, how does Skyrim run on the Steam Deck? I'm sure it runs fine, right, Reg? You've tested that.
I have not installed it, so I don't know.
You
Sky-
tested
Skyrim the
all
Milky.
these other games. The one he doesn't
Dude,
test is the one.
I installed like 80 games, but not Skyrim. No.
What is that? Because you are Skyrimmed out like us, or what?
Yeah, I was not interested in even trying.
In
that
even
again.
trying it. Remlo, $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chats, man. They seriously, they are working on a smaller project like to get used to UE5 before the next mainline Gears, according to Insider Jez.
Dude, Gears
Okay,
and UE5.
Real
Hell
quick,
yeah.
I'm not saying that
So-
that's not true, but devs have had access to UE5. That reasoning makes no sense. UE5, UE4.
It's been there for a year.
It's
I
been there for a
believe.
long time. Yeah. So that I don't know. That reasoning doesn't make any sense unless there's something we're not aware of. But we're seeing normal. Did you guys see the Spider-Man trailer I posted in the thing? People are like
Spider-Man and the Superman one someone did. Et
yeah,
cetera. So
yeah, and
people
those are guys just sitting at home mixing characters in. I don't think a professional company needs to work on a smaller project unless there's something in particular that they're testing, a technology of some kind. We do know that there's the other game that was shown for a second, the Cartels drug game made by Avalanche. You guys remember that? All they showed was like the title. And I believe that's a horrendously huge online like MMO shooter. That is one that they're doing. So maybe if they're testing some type of tech for Unreal and online, I could see maybe.
There's also Fable is still rumored, right? Or
Fable's
is it confirmed?
Yeah, Fable's still.
Is it? I thought it was announced.
Fable? Oh, Fable's announced. Yeah, Fable's announced.
Right.
Yeah, it's confirmed. For sure. We just Contraband. Thank you guys. Contraband is the one that is behind the scenes. I've been hearing a lot of not insider stuff. I guess sort of, but it's more along the lines of people knew about this for a while. There was the idea of,
wasn't Coalition like a
this
part
huge-
of Unreal or Epic or fuck man? Weren't they a part of Epic at one point or am I just
I don't think so.
one of the leads worked at Epic and then moved to Microsoft or something like that. Or wasn't it Ron Ferguson? Was Ron Ferguson originally with Unreal?
Cliff? I thought no.
Well, Cliff wasn't. No, Cliff was always. But there was some mixture there. Maybe it was just Todd Ferguson. Yeah, I was right. Okay, so Todd Ferguson.
Okay.
If I said Todd, I think I did.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good.
Dude, all of us we have this like in our heads, Todd,
Rod,
Star
Todd,
game, all
Sonny.
this shit.
Oh, that's another thing. I was excited for it. Did you guys see? Nobody else is excited. I'm just gonna shut up. I was gonna
go on.
Well, I'm really excited for the Disney. Like
I saw
live
that.
I was
inside the
excited
character.
too.
saw
Yeah,
that.
I saw it, and it was like some kind of like Sims thing with like all the anime characters, and I was like,
To me, it looks like a what's the fucking game on Switch? New Horizons, Captain Planet,
Animal
Planet.
Planet. Captain
Animal
Planet
Crossing.
would be amazing.
Crossing, it's Animal Crossing, but Disney.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what it looked to
technically,
me.
Captain
Yeah.
Planet's already been made in The Sims. It's the one where you go to the island and feel bad about yourself and clean up trash.
Oh yeah,
There you
true,
go.
true. Yeah,
Wow.
you clean up the oceans. And
Clean
stuff.
up the oceans and say, I remember. Yeah, whatever. We'll
Well, you
skip on.
can't even kill your Sims because your neighbors come and help you. Yeah.
Oh my god, what's happening with games? Dude, guys, quit arguing about systems. Christ, it's okay. It's
console
okay,
war?
peeps. No need for console wars, man. No need.
My Xbox is better than your PlayStation.
Animal Starfield would be good. Somebody just posted that. That would be cool because I know everybody I know likes Animal Crossing. Like really, if they get it, they think it's one of the best. They're really enjoying it. It would be cool to go to other planets instead of other islands. That would actually be. I would play that. It's like Spore, but with Animal Crossing stuff. Animal Crossing components. Reg, do we have free games up and running? We ready
Yes,
to do this?
we do.
Let's do it. Free games, or somewhat free.
All right, a bit longer this week. So free game, totally free. Epic Game Store first, as usual. Just a Die Already and Paradigm. And on the Microsoft Game Store, MX versus ATV Alive for the 360. That's the 360 version. So that's it with totally free games. On to subscription stuff. We have PlayStation Plus coming next week with their monthly games. Curse of the Dead Gods, FIFA 22, and Tribes of Midgard. On PC Game Pass, we have Bugsnax, Unsold, 7 Days to Die, and Research and Destroy. And Game Pass for console, we also have Bugsnax again, NBA 2K22, Unsold, 7 Days to Die, the console edition, which Karak enjoys a lot, I know. And Research and Destroy. And on Prime Gaming, so that's Twitch Prime, there's Cat Quest, The Curse of Monkey Island, Dead Space 2,
Monkey Island?
and Monkey Island. Mall and Express Deliveries DLC, Out of Line, and Shattered Tale of the Forgotten King.
Wait.
And that's the end of the list.
The Curse of Monkey Island. That's the third game.
Is it the new one they're coming out with? No, right?
No. It's
No.
it's the third game. The Curse of Monkey Island.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's the version from 97.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know they're making a new
the
one.
that looks like that basically looks like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Or an animated film.
It was one of my favorite ones just because of the look, I think. Just
one Ron Gilbert doesn't like.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, because I mean he wasn't involved.
He wasn't involved in it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he feels like it's not a true sequel to Monkey Island 2.
I don't think there'll be a new Way of the Turtle, but those guys, they did Yesterday's, which wasn't a good point and click, but they did Way of the Turtle and its sequel are still probably my two favorite point and clicks of all time. And it just dawned on me, they do look like that Curse of Monkey Island game. Like I do like that kind of animation when it looks like that.
Yeah, I mean Curse of Monkey Island game was the Monkey Island game that introduced Murray the Talking Skull. So
yeah, so it's got to have some kudos there. Those games are so good, man. I love a good point and click. Runaway. Yeah, thank you, Shane. The Runaway series. If anybody likes point and clicks and you haven't played the Runaway series, man, then you haven't played.
I mean, I don't know if there's a better video game item, especially for a point and click game, than the rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle.
Rubber chicken with a pulley was cool.
True that.
And then, do you know the only thing that
sword fighting,
the insult sword fighting for me, it was always trying to figure out how to get the seagull off of the deck in the one, and you had to you hit the board.
Right, yep.
And I remember calling up their LucasArts phone line and being like, "What the fuck is going on? I can't get past this." And whatever it was like going out of the screen and doing something, coming back in. But it was so good, man. Those games are great.
To me, the rubber chicken with the pulley in the middle was just like the embodiment, the ultimate
of
sort of
shit that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, of trying to figure out what do I do with this item that I have in my inventory? How do I combine it into something useful? Yeah.
Blazing Dragons had that, where I remember it was like a dishwasher part, a bellows from something, and you're just like, what the, you could never have put those together.
I always got stuck in point and click games.
I mean, I think we all. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but it's like I do.
A lot of them use straight up moon logic.
Yeah, so yeah. It's on purpose, right? It's like you just sort of
like
that's
Kathy
what it's about.
Kathy Rain. I would be just going between three places over and over.
When you start trying to combine everything you have in your inventory and see if you can create something.
Oh, dude, all the time. And when you finally get the hotspot, when you finally do combine, you're like, now your brain has to go, which of the mouse, then you're like, which of the 5 rooms does this chicken with the now you got one part of the puzzle. Now you still have to figure out the other, and
you try the weirdest combinations. You put a pencil in a sink and you're like, maybe this will work.
Thimbleweed Park I think did pretty good on not having a bunch of moon logic. It had some, but I actually really thought that game was good. It was
great.
I was able to follow that. There was a couple parts with the clown that I had some difficulty with, but overall that was one of those games where I'm like, I get it.
It's like one of the only ones I beat, actually.
Yeah. Well, Kathy Rain, it is funny you mention that, because that is on some stuff for a biker chick who talks to dead spirits or something. I can't even remember, but it was like somebody's dead, all that stuff in Kathy Rain. The issue there was they use moon logic in a game that doesn't look like it should have moon logic. So it was a little confusing.
Right. What is moon logic?
Moon logic means things not making sense that you put together. Moon logic. Okay. There is no logic. It's just like the moon. You grab the moon.
You have to make like an extreme leap.
Or just cut yourself and not leap and just float in space and put shit together.
One of
so basically understanding games. Like any Dark Souls game ever is
pretty much.
Right? Okay.
Reg, what?
One of my favorite games of all times, Day of the Tentacle, has a lot of that.
It does.
Yeah,
tons. And the thing is,
all of them.
I don't know about you guys. I got stuck all the time. I think that's why I don't have ego when I do get stuck. I don't I know some people are like, this game sucks if they get stuck. I guess for whatever reason, I'm so accustomed to not having. I had that 1-800 line, but most of the time you had to sit there and go like, what the. It's not the best gameplay. And that's a legitimate criticism, is that it's not always the best gameplay. But I got stuck all the time in those old games, man. Like
it just depends like how long you get to the aha moment.
Yeah. Well, that's
if
true.
It's satisfying to do that,
Well, I mean, Dude, what were those original games? Myst? I remember doing Myst, and they were a mix of Moon, but then they had some very crunchy, like almost escape room stuff. And I remember my brain was having, this was back in the newborn times when you didn't mix those. And I definitely had some issues in Myst. I remember there was a roller coaster or a minecart in Myst. And it was like, if you went the wrong way, you just died and you had to start all the way back. And it was like, you know,
Man, old games were notorious for that. It's like just the starting, they were brutal with the starting points. Like
they
you
didn't
die,
care.
Yeah, you're repeating the whole fucking game.
Yeah, they didn't care. They were just like, Adventures of
from.
Willy Beamish was that way, where it was just like, I was playing it going like, oh my God. Like they just, now you would get people saying they don't respect your time.
I mean,
like,
especially the old Sierra games. I mean, Police Quest.
Police Quest. Dude.
You didn't follow procedure to the absolute letter of the law.
Absolute letter.
You are dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
You lose your job. Done. King's Quest 1 and 2 and 3 were the same way. Where King's Quest, we would be in computer class, where everybody was in computer class supposed to be programming, and everybody was like, dude, how do you get to the fucking Knight's Sword or whatever? Like, there'd be like 20 people in a room, and the teacher would be like, guys, you need to get to work. And we're like, yeah, hang on 1 second. And then the teacher even got involved. His name was Otha, by the way. Otha Buck was the name of our teacher. Southern dude. And he came over there, found out we were talking about that game, and he was like, guys, get to work. But anyway, here's how you do it. And he was like one of those cool teachers that played games.
I think I died like 12 times as Sonny Bonds trying to pull that first car over from the traffic stop.
Yeah, those games. Those games were
Police
rough.
Quest.
What else we got? We got indie game. What's the indie game?
Our indie game of the week is Wobble Dogs, which is a curious blend of sort of a Nintendogs sort of pet simulator crossed with like a physics simulator style game, like Ghost Simulator or Surgeon Simulator or stuff like that.
That game's got good reviews.
Crossed with Spore a little bit. Basically, you are tasked with taking care of these and raising these dogs, with the caveat that these dogs all mutate as they grow older. And they will mutate in various ways depending on like what the environmental stimuli and what they eat and stuff.
Sweet.
So sometimes maybe like their hind legs will grow really long and thin. Maybe
this one doesn't have front legs at all, Silver. This one
exactly.
That's
or
creepy.
maybe their legs will become so stubby that they can't actually walk around. And you can also interact with like their environment and them. You can like pick them up, throw them around and stuff. Watch them interact with the environment, watch them interact with like the physics systems in the game, as you sort of build toys for them, and you gain access to more and more food, and then you can sort of genetically splice them, grow and breed new breeds, like they can develop mutate wings and stuff. They can get all these different sorts of mutations, and like the main appeal of the game is just to see how they interact with each other, with the environment and stuff, as they grow.
Yeah,
mutate.
I'm seeing this person. There's a little bit of a building sim too, because they're like putting different rooms down.
Yeah.
It looks to me. Well, I didn't look into it, but it looks like kind of like Viva Pinata.
It does a little bit, but more like almost like a Donkey Kong, because it's flat. It doesn't have the fur thing. It's got the flat, shiny, where edges are shiny. There's a term for that specific. But dude, this is awesome. This guy's got no leg. Oh, and then they're all just sleeping in a corner.
Yeah, I mean, it can be
This game's got
simultaneously
insanely good
adorable
reviews.
and horrifying, in sort of equal measure.
Developer Animal Uprising.
It's a nice chill experience. There's no like win state in the game. There's no end state. There's no failure state either. So.
Are you selling the dogs? Is that your job? Is to
no,
like,
you're not. No,
just breeding
like
them.
You're just breeding them for like trying out, seeing new breeds. What happens when a dog gets like its limbs developing in that particular way and stuff like that? What happens when its body becomes too big for its legs?
This one's got like fucking spider legs. That is nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is sweet. And reviews, by the way, people
they
posted it.
They also have like simulated behaviors, so they have different behavioral traits. They will all have like unique behaviors and personalities. Some will be aggressive, some will be really friendly. Yeah. And of course, they also die because they age in the game, so they will pass away. And then
Oh,
you can-
gotcha. Okay, so
You can
that's
get a
sort of
horrifying
like.
spectacle of the others sort of munching on their cadaver. Yeah. If
Do
we
they
leave it
get the
there.
DNA if they eat them? Do you know? Do they get like parts of the DNA? Like if they eat them, do they get a part of the DNA of the animal they ate?
I think they get part of
pretty
the
creepy.
because a lot of the mutations run on like germs that go into bacteria that go into their guts.
Oh,
Like their
whoa.
guts are heavily simulated. So for instance, you can feed. That's why feeding them different stuff with different bacteria sort of affects their mutations in different ways. So I think you can affect mutations through that, and they can pick up germs from cadavers like that. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just reading some of the reviews. Is there a ghost? Can they die and exist as ghosts? I'm seeing this one that looks like he's transparent. Or maybe that's like a gene to be like
They
a
don't
ghost.
exist as ghosts,
As ghosts.
to the best of my knowledge. No, I haven't encountered that.
I'm just reading all of this stuff of the reviews, which are insanely. This game is genuinely disturbing, almost evil in its underlying atmosphere, and amazing, is what this review says. I have a tiny
that's what
dog
it
with
looks like.
broken legs named Piss Fingers, whom I feed the souls of his deceased brethren that they cannibalize immediately upon
What
death
the
to
f-
extend
what?
his lifespan,
Wait,
like a
I thought this was a
spider-legged
cute-
vampire. It is, but
Jesus.
it's on the top.
What?
It's cute, but on the top he says,
Oh, it's like
"Piss-
Happy Tree Friends. It's like
yeah,
cute.
Piss
but it's
Fingers has
kinda-
utterly
Yeah.
destroyed my gene pool, and his descendants are rapidly devolving into dog centipedes. I only let them eat onion rings in a hope that they'll grow wings, but it does nothing but
What?
shrink their bodies and legs into nothing as I'm forced to watch them inch along the dirt and then slowly die."
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's
What the
that's a game for me right there. See, those
Where
are the
did
kind
it-
of those are the kind of things that like that'll eat a weekend where you're just like, what in the hell is going on in this game? And
Holy
yeah, if you guys look,
shit.
the reviews are phenomenal for that. So I
That's
posted a link
hilarious.
above. It's called Wobble Dogs, people. It by the way, it doesn't look evil. He's described it looks like even the death is sort of like goofy and cartoony.
Well,
But
yeah, but that's what
front
makes
end-
it more evil. It's
Yeah,
satanic.
Oh, dude, yeah, like the where something looks almost too happy go lucky, and then behind
like
like
happy,
Teletubbies, and
creepy.
behind the scenes, you're like, this is creepy as hell.
It's like Barney. Okay.
Looks like people,
Oh,
some
you
people
can
bought
also
it.
share like dog.
Yeah, you can
dog
share the
cheat codes with
DNA.
others and stuff. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome. Those are the kind of games that, like I said, will eat up a weekend that are worth. I think that's a perfect price too. Like I know some people probably say 10, but on something like that where they have that much going on, you have death, you have gene split, all that kind of stuff. Man, $19.99. Obviously, people agree because it's got thousands of reviews and they're all positive. So that's one of the more positive rated games on all of Steam. It's very cool to see those kind of games come out. And I'm a big fan of, I liked Spore. I liked Creatures with the Norns. I was showing Absy a picture of Creatures. That was back in DOS 3.1 days.
Yeah, that
wasn't even
activated
Windows.
a memory in
Yeah.
my head that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, that
You know
was
when-
back
when-
there and
when
would have
you-
never
yeah.
popped up again unless somebody had shown you that picture. Yeah, it's just
and
like,
then it all came back to me.
um,
Like using the hand to like pet them and stuff.
yep. And the
tickle
sounds
them.
they would make. Like, hee hee.
Yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Stillwell says Wobble Dogs has a great community Discord run by the producer.
Nice.
Yeah, so there you go. That's something that, it looks like it's perfect price. I'm glad they ended up. Sometimes you'll see somebody underprice something. You almost see people think that means that it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Like where they do what I consider to be a really good price, and some people are like, oh, it obviously must suck if it's that cheap. I think 20 is like perfect for that. Where it's just like, it's a premium price for that kind of game, but still lower than everything else. Sad we never got to see Spore 2. Yeah, and you never will, unfortunately. Let's see, what else do we got to discuss? What else do we got in the chat? Hey, Johnny, can you throw stuff in the chat? Do we have anything?
Yes. Well, I had some
Go for it.
numbers. Had some numbers.
Do it.
I thought this was interesting. So these are numbers. Let me pull it up here to discuss of console sales, and they kind of go into different periods. So I wanted to run this by you and see if you are surprised or if this is expected. But for example, and this is from VGCharts.com. PS5, this is 2022. The PS5 has sold a little over 2 million units, and the Xbox Series X or S has sold 2.3 million or more than that. So they're actually beating PS5 in 2022 so far. But also interestingly, the Switch is almost at 5 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
In what? In 2022?
In 2022, according to this.
Dude, that's why Nintendo said they have no plans on releasing like a successor.
That is
They're still
beyond
selling like
nuts.
crazy.
Guys,
Isn't that bonkers?
subscribe to the Patreon, jump in the Discord with us. It's well worth the price of a Switch. And it's like $5 versus whatever a Switch. What's a Switch now? $190, $299? $199?
What?
What's a Switch?
330 still for sure.
$399.
Yeah.
No. Maybe the new one, right?
The OLED version is probably.
By
yeah.
Nintendo Switch Canada.
I thought it was
It's-
around $300 for a Switch.
It is.
Do
what
you have
the
to go
fuck
potty,
is-
buddy? All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to let my dog
Yeah,
out.
the
It
OLED
is-
one is 350 here, and the non-OLED is 280.
Oh, it's only $259 here. What the fuck?
Okay, yeah. And that's
Oh, that's a light. That's the light. Never mind.
Oh. Yeah,
the
so
light
that's
is
a bit cheaper.
$259. Yeah.
But then
I don't
what's
know. I can't even find a price for the normal Nintendos. Are they still out of stock? Probably, right?
probably.
Probably
Not
still
yet.
out of stock.
But hold up, because if you thought that was amazing, in 2021 they sold 6.7 million Switch units.
Jesus Christ, dude. When did it come out? 2017.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, that's
Dude.
fucking crazy.
I mean, compared to the fact that they've now sold 5 million in less than half that
Yeah,
time.
that something doesn't make sense now in those numbers.
I think I don't know.
guess you're right. Yeah, there's something there that's. I mean, this seems legit, right? So this is from official sources.
What's
I mean, to
what?
the end of last year, at least from the Switch, we have the numbers from Nintendo directly, and those were total lifetime sales of 104 million almost.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But I mean, these are pretty crazy numbers. But I thought it was interesting too that the Series X and S are overselling PS5 this year. What do you make of that? Is it like lack of
Availability.
stock?
Availability.
Availability?
Yeah, I think, I mean, well, and also, I mean, Game Pass can't be, like, I don't know how much of those a couple 100,000 more are availability versus, Game Pass either. So it's like, it's hard to know. But the availability is
Yeah,
one.
until both are available, we probably won't know.
And one thing is the Xbox only became available here recently. So it's like, is that completely connected to it and stuff, which it does seem like it would be. But then you also see a lot of people who are Game Pass has got a lot of like day ones. So it's very difficult to know. I mean, in the end, it doesn't matter because every year we have this discussion and there's thousands of caveats. So it's like, it just sort of is what it is. I would say that neither company's probably unhappy. They're selling as many as they can. Xbox does sell out, but it becomes available far more quickly than PS5. Also, you have to wonder, I don't see any scalped Xboxes, but I see thousands of scalped PS5s. So it's how many are scalped as well that aren't selling or being held onto to sell later. And we are talking about multiple thousands. So, yeah. But I mean, it's good for both. Nintendo, obviously, it's better for them, though. It's ridiculous. Like, it's to the point where it's just stupid.
In their little sandbox laughing at everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And kudos that we got the OLED because that's definitely a plus. But it's ridiculous now. It's like it goes to show that it's obvious that somebody's at their house with COVID. Maybe we thought all of them want to play on their couch. Maybe not. Maybe all of them want to play in their boxers in their bed. And a Switch is better. And I can tell you what, I was doing, speaking of like handhelds, I was doing streaming and I was playing X4 on my streaming from the PC. And I got to say, the one thing about mobile that they can't get right is there are no triggers on the back, right? So to fire, you have to take your finger off the thumb button, off the thumbstick, and stop moving to fire, which is very hard in a space game when you're following somebody. because you have to sort of like go in front of them, fire, go in front of them, fire. And that's one thing where like a handheld Steam Deck does this, and Switch where they have those controls inborn in the back. You've got your triggers, your current setups. So there's a positive there as well. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about Nintendo. Like, it just doesn't, who's buying them? It's like GTA, where you start looking at it going like,
exactly.
Who's buying it? Is the company buying their game? Like, who's buying this? But it's GTA more so. But I mean, with Switch, I don't know. Anybody in chat? Speaking of that, we'll just ask chat. Anybody in chat, has any of you guys got a Switch recently? Go ahead. Sober.
I mean, the immediate assumption is just families, right?
You mean like
someone in chat already I saw said, yeah, we have 3 Switches at home, like for the family.
Wow.
Which is
Makes
even
sense.
weirder to me, because that means somebody knows what the Switch does and doesn't offer and still bought another one. Not to diss on the Switch, but if I bought the Switch, I don't think I would be tantalized to buy another Switch, ever. But maybe there's Animal Crossing is a multiplayer game, right? Maybe that's what we're...
Mario Party and all
Well,
that stuff.
also Animal Crossing is a game where you can only have one proper island on a console. So for that game, you actually need several physical consoles.
Wait, so if you have a different account on one console, you can't have a different island?
No, you can only be a guest in the main island. There's
What if
one,
it's like a different
one
account?
console.
No,
so
it's locked up.
doesn't matter.
It's locked up.
Interesting. That's weird.
This person says, I got a Switch like 2 years ago for $200. Another person says 2 of them recently, so a total of 4 in their house. Total of 4 Switches. So there you go. I mean,
I got
somebody...
mine when it came out, basically.
I couldn't tell you where mine was. And that's not a joke, not even dissing on Nintendo. I legit, I have just no clue.
All my consoles are right next to the TV, all of them, like a
The
big stack
issue-
of consoles.
The issue with mine is just like the Joy-Cons got fucked up and drift and
Gotcha.
shit.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
that is one
Joy-Cons.
negative, right? If you're carrying around all of the peripherals as one system, if something goes wrong, you do end up
Yeah,
paying.
like especially the Switch Lite, it's not detachable, right?
Right.
So I don't
In
know.
percent, like just looking at that in percent, it's even more telling, I think, because 2021 Switch of total hardware sales of those 3 consoles, 58.5%.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I don't know, guys.
Yeah, and there was a big jump in 2020 compared to 2019.
Of course there was.
So that's probably pandemic related,
Yep.
right? That was almost 2x in sales.
I admit I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was telling people, people are going to worry about saving money and stuff, and they're not going to want to spend as much. And instead, people
I
been
gotta
like,
say, I think it's just the portability.
fuck the
I
future.
think that's like the main thing.
But I mean,
like-
if they're not going to
But
work,
it's not really
you're not
portable.
transporting. Where's the
Yeah.
portability? On the
Right,
on the shitter?
exactly. But
maybe?
it's still the fact that it's a portal. It's like
true.
everyone having PSPs.
Yeah,
everyone
no,
having
you are
Game
right.
Boys.
You may
Bad
not use it
version,
as
yeah.
that, but
you
it
can
is
stay in
that.
bed and play it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Or it's
that's
like
pretty much-
give the kid, all of a sudden you have to deal with your kids while working at home.
and they don't
give
need
the
a
kid a
TV.
Switch.
True.
Yeah,
Give the
and-
kid a
true.
Switch and,
and they
That
don't
is
need
some
it. You don't need
sick
to buy them a
rank
TV.
shit if a parent's saying that.
You don't, yes, it is.
I'm
But you don't need
sorry.
to buy them a TV. They don't take over the TV if you're watching something. There's like all this like shit. Right?
First of all, you didn't take over in my dude. In my day, my dad, you wouldn't take over the fucking television from my dad.
no, you
You'd
can't.
be mowing the lawn. He'd be
Yes.
like, "What the fuck?
Get the fuck
tape
outta
some
here."
tape some flashlights to the lawnmower. You're mowing the lawn for even asking." Like, of course you wouldn't. So the idea of
wouldn't.
like getting, and one of my friends is that way. His kids, like, they're not allowed TV at a certain point. They're they're pretty structured and stuff. But it's just like, Karak obviously doesn't have kids. No, I didn't. I mean that I know of. Maybe some weird
My
ones
God.
are running around. Yeah, who knows? Man?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, I had,
Like just a beard on legs.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's haunting. The idea of that is terrible. You have a very mean dad, Karak. No, I got one who actually cared about me. He wanted to parent, not have the TV do it. He didn't want me to watch MASH and learn from MASH, even though MASH was an awesome show. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's great. It's good for them. Good for them that they're selling to someone out there. I just have no clue who it is. And it's Steam Deck's doing as well as it can. I'm sure they wish they could get way more out there, because I bet you a lot of people would be doing Steam Deck versus, well, Yeah. Some people, I'm sure, would rather do Steam Deck versus Switch, but I guess Switch is a console where Steam Deck, you still have a PC. You could still have PC issues overall, but MASH was fucking great, somebody said. What else do we got for topics?
So Abzi had a couple things there.
Go for it,
and
Abs.
Reg had a couple things.
Well, I have multiple things. Oh, short side note. Fucking hell, dude. They announced Modern Warfare 2, by the way, Call of Duty. So now you have Modern Warfare Remastered, then Modern Warfare, then Modern Warfare 2, then Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, then now Modern Warfare 2, which I thought was pretty funny.
I thought... What?
You want to go down there? So
I thought Modern Warfare... Are we talking about... What? Are we talking about the logo that they just did?
There's a new Modern Warfare, yeah. Modern Warfare 2.
No, that's Modern... But Modern Warfare 2's already been made.
Yeah, but now it's the new version of Modern Warfare 2, like the
remake. The name again.
Oh,
like they already remastered it, and now it's like a reboot because they started with a new Modern Warfare. So now they announced Modern Warfare 2. So now
it's a remake rather than a reboot, or rather than a remaster, right?
No, it's not even a remake. It's like the new. No. It's like the new.
It is a new game.
It's a new
just
game
with an old name.
To the reboot.
It's a sequel to the reboot of Modern Warfare.
Wow!
With the same name?
Wow!
With the same name. So now there's like the original and remakes or remasters, and then the reboot, which is So I just found that interesting. Do you want me to move on? I'll move on.
Yeah, no, move on.
and real news. Square Enix. Oh fuck, where is it? So Yuji Naka, who I'm guessing made Wonderworld or worked on Balan Wonderworld or started, is taking Square Enix to court because the game is unfinished.
No, he already took them to court, and
he took them to court. Okay, it's no longer in effect, I guess. But I guess he was the producer, or he started making the game, and then they went without him for like a year and a half, I believe.
It was the director, yeah.
It was the director, yeah. And they cut him out. I mean, that game was terrible. Have any of you tried it or looked at it?
No.
Hell no.
No, but it is terrible. And he said that it was the reason why, like, he wasn't talking about it because he was in court, at the time, suing him because of they wanted to release it when he was saying it wasn't ready. So it is what it is, man. The game launched. It's just not a good. I don't even know if ready makes sense though. That was one of the things. We'll never know. That's in the weeds. But it's like, would it, if it had been ready, would it have still been good?
That is something that didn't really make sense.
Exactly.
With that article, because it said he was removed 6 months before the game launched. But from what I get, the state of the game, 6 months is not the issue.
And so I like him and I like his games, but I was like, that's a weird. It was just a weird thing overall. But it's just business.
I mean, at that point, presumably there had been a significant period of time before that where there had been conflict and stuff, friction for the game not being ready up to that point. And then it culminated with him getting...
I guess what I'm saying is he is the producer, so some of that's on him, is what I was saying.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not even blaming him. I'm just saying it was just a weird article. I guess you can't really get too in-depth because it is a suing, which they do lock a lot of the... So you'll never know all of this stuff.
It's still in progress, and we might never know afterwards even.
It just sucks. Long story short, I'm sure he didn't want a shitty game, and that's what we got. And I like him, because like he did Sega Knights, right? And Sega Knights is like one of my favorite games of all time, because I think in Balan's Wonderworld, one of the characters looks like the Knights character.
There were also some other snippets in there that I found weird, at least, where he said, well, for example, with Sonic, I decided that one ring was enough to keep you alive like weeks before launch of the title. I was like, that's not exactly a selling point towards your competence.
Yeah,
that game was weird, man. Like, there was a power-up that turned you into a box, and you couldn't...
Yeah, there was a lot of really weird... It turned you into a box at random times. Because I even talked about that in one of my videos where I was like, disappointing games, and I believe that was one of them, and I was talking about this weird box thing. Like, there was just a lot of oddities in that. What else do you got?
Is that the only thing I linked? I think I linked something else. Let me check.
Anybody in chat? You got any topics? Any hot tops? You want
I
us
mean,
to?
we have
Any hot-
some podcast questions, I would assume, right?
For sure.
Blizzard announced a new mobile game set in the Warcraft universe. So another.
Well, they
did
announced
Diablo
that they will
Immortal-
announce it.
They announced that they will announce it. Join us for the reveal. Yeah, I guess so.
Mhm.
So reveal doesn't mean the game will be out, right? It's
Right.
like we're
It's
No, they
making
will
it.
just
the
say
reveal
what
of
it
the.
is.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Is the Diablo mobile one out?
I thought it was, but apparently it
No, that's
isn't.
coming June 5th, I think.
Oh, and there's Overwatch 2 as well. But the beta started last week.
So they do have a mobile game that's definitely coming. That is that Diablo title that's coming, like
Yeah.
I said, believe June 5th to mobile. And on the same day, okay, 2nd June apparently, Lucian says, on the same day as open beta for PC.
Just
And on the
Don't
5th,
care.
like next week, they will announce what kind of Warcraft title they do for mobile.
Yeah,
think
don't-
People are like mostly talking about, from what I've seen, about some kind of pet battler.
probably.
how the mighty have
Wow.
fallen. Right?
Yeah. Remember when it was like, oh, Blizzard made this. Okay, I'm buying it.
Yup. BioWare though. I lived through the BioWare
Of
fall
course.
when it was
yeah.
like BioWare. Yeah.
BioWare was like Obsidian, you know? They
Yep.
just banger. Obsidian hasn't had a bad game yet, so please let them stay on that track.
Yeah, Obsidian's games have been pretty good overall. I think
Like I haven't encountered one that was subpar, to be
yeah,
honest.
I guess I haven't.
I mean, Alpha Protocol.
Well, no,
loved
I
it,
was going to
but
say Alpha, but it was so
certainly, yeah.
old, Silver. I didn't
Yeah.
want to mention that because Absy probably wasn't playing games. No, you played Alpha Protocol. You were playing it.
Yeah,
Calm down. Age of discrimination
Yeah.
here.
Not
I was
that
trying to be
young.
nice.
I'm not that young.
Okay, so if we use that as their last bad game we remember, moving forward, I would say Obsidian has fairly well hit it.
But was it a
Where have
bad
they been?
game? Like I thought it was a good
It was.
game.
It had a lot of. I loved it, but it had a lot of
There
technical
were
issues.
technical
A lot of
issues,
mechanic, not just technical, but like mechanics in that game that didn't work well.
I don't remember the mechanics as much because I
The
was probably
massive
so in
reticle?
love with the RPG stuff. Yeah, the RPG reticle where you'd fire and it wouldn't hit because it was done by the
I think I'm
numbers.
speaking in a sense of like when it comes to RPG-ness, they hit it. Like
Oh,
they,
yeah.
the
Yeah, they know.
choices, everything.
I didn't
they
even
hit it
love
and
the
everything.
last one, Pillars, as much as I like Pillars
Pillars
1.
2?
But
Pillars 1's better, I
they
think,
know what
yeah.
they sort of know what they're doing. Like those turn out to be good and people like them, and so it's like
And Dungeon Siege 3 also.
yeah, not so good. Was that Obsidian?
Was that Obsidian?
Yeah.
Whoa, dude!
Oh.
I would never in a million. A million monkeys and a million typewriters. I don't think would have ever put those two together. That's crazy.
I didn't think at all. I didn't
That's
think so.
nuts. Yeah, I didn't. As the developer, they made that.
Yeah.
That was a bad game, by the way. Number 3, it was not good. Huh, interesting.
Is it like the thing where they took they
Took the IP
developed
on?
a sequel? Yeah. Or did they develop all 3?
No, they did not.
They didn't make all 3.
They did not make all 3.
They're just the
that's
third
for
one?
sure.
Okay.
They only the third one. Yeah.
Interesting.
What else do we got for topics before we do go to questions? Anything?
Well, we did. If we want to hit like kind of big news outside of gaming, just to get your take on it.
Do it.
Twitter got bought this week. It looks like, right? So we always have to see if it all kind of
Allegedly.
goes
Goes
on.
through.
Because mergers are complex and all this stuff. But all the shareholders of Twitter got, a premium on their stock, and it's now becoming private. Elon Musk secured funding to buy the whole thing. What do we think overall? A positive. Let's put aside Elon Musk because people are either like he's a hero or he's
Hero or
he's
zero.
the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like as a whole, my quick take on it is that opening up what is being done with the content to push it or to hide it is a positive. It's just objectively a positive thing, regardless of who is running the shindig. If we can see what is happening, and you can look at the code, right? And you can go, oh, that's being boosted. We understand. That just helps the entire situation, I think, with misinformation.
He also wants a delete button. Wasn't he one of the ones that was like, dude, you just need to get with the times. Edit button, sorry.
Yeah.
We need to get with the times, because without the edit button, we're getting all kinds of... And, we will have people who post something on purpose and then edit it later so that they have 1,000 responses on... They can say, this game is amazing. And then a week later say, this game is terrible, but they've edited
like Cyberpunk.
it. Wow.
Remember that?
Yeah. That gutted the entire, where I was going. But yes, that's exact. But yeah, wow. Okay. I don't have anything to add after the
Guys,
Cyberpunk.
it's a 10 out of 10. I'm just kidding. It's a 6 out of 10.
It's a 6 out of 10. Change in your review. That's, Twitter isn't really... I mean, I think they sort of lifted Twitter up way beyond what it was. I know it's powerful, but at some point now it's just chaff. It's like Facebook to me, where it's chaff now, where, I use it to follow some people. Remember how Facebook used to be a thing and you might actually have groups get together? Now it's just I'll see what my, redneck cousin is doing. That's about it. And with Twitter, I'm doing the same thing. I was telling you guys prior to this that I couldn't figure out why I was sort of down one day, and I realized I had looked at Twitter. And I'd seen all the people going after each other, and I was like, damn. And I just had to close it. So...
Yeah, Twitter's garbage.
Twitter's garbage, man. Twitter is just so the idea of letting people see what goes on is good, all that stuff, but I don't know if Twitter's coming back. I think somebody else, there will always be somebody, a VR version of Twitter made by somebody else for, AR headsets. That'll be a big thing, or so, you know what I mean? There'll be there's always something else. Everybody thought MySpace would never be replaced, right? Everything gets replaced. So
true.
Twitter will get replaced by something. Him buying it, I don't know why he bought it. Ignoring Musk, if any millionaire bought it, the only reason I would assume they would buy it would be to do exactly where they believe in opening it up, because otherwise, as a purchase, it's you're not going to use it to further yourself. There'll be a ton of issues if he already does that on his own. So it's what exactly would you buy it for? The idea of opening it up, making sure that you have edit button, delete button. Man, if he could fix the back end, because I'm telling you, their CSR, their customer support is balls. It's terrible. It's probably Twitch level bad. So those kind of things could be fixed.
I remember also their embedding was pretty bad too.
Their embedding's always been janky, and it crops its own things the way it wants, and there's all those kind of things. I just don't use it as much anymore, man. I've noticed I just go into the Discord, and I just stay away from TikTok. Surpassed Twitter. Oh, TikTok is even worse. TikTok is quite literally just dancing. It's so weird. Every time not just, but you get my drift.
Most of it is following trends.
Yeah,
so
and
someone would do
a lot of times I'll go there and just be like, I have no clue what I'm. I mean, I know what I'm seeing, but I don't know why I care.
You got super cringe content, but I think there are some funny shit there for sure. But
there can be funny shit anywhere, though, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just saying.
Smaller shit on my plate doesn't change the fact that there's shit on my plate,
right. It's still going to infect the other food. What were you saying, Johnny?
Well, the trend on TikTok that I saw that annoyed me was really young people reinventing the wheel for different things, finding new solutions for problems that have already been solved. They're drinking water in a weird way. Bro, we got glasses. The problem has been solved.
There's that one TikTok that I don't know if you've seen the one TikTok that teases all that, where it's the black guy who will just grab the cup and drink it, and it'll be
it's
and that's the way everybody feels. But I think even the people who see those. But I do remember Bill Burr having the hilarious comment where he was saying that people somehow figured out that flipping a bottle of water and having it land is like magic, and it's that is so funny because. It's the same thing with game trailers, and yes, I'm going to bring it up, but when I see people crying or flipping out because they see a starship, I'm always like, are we really flipping out? Because if we are, then something is genuinely wrong with me. Something chemically, I've been neutered, because that is not what it takes to get me, over the moon about something. And you do see that on TikTok. But I think a lot of it's just also people react that way because they see other people react that way.
Right.
where maybe it's not necessarily real. I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Chris says, man, I've had a good experience with Twitter so far. Facebook is the one that's super depressing and negative. Maybe my algorithm just hasn't got me yet or something.
Well, Facebook is just, dude, Facebook is like 4chan now, dude. That's like
true that for sure. What were you saying, Silver? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Just I mean, for my part, it's less to do with, it's not really Musk specifically. It's more an aversion that any single person rather has that the amount of consolidated power to be able to effectively change the media landscape overnight because it feels like it.
Well, Twitter already had that with their owner. I mean, did you feel that way with their original owner?
Yeah.
Yes,
but
I
so
feel
you'd
that
rather
way
have it
with
be like
any
a group?
with any consolidation of power. Yes,
Yeah.
And so
The Illuminati of Twitter.
And I particularly find it humorous that Musk chooses to frame it as a salvation of free speech in a healthy democracy when the consolidation of power into one person to that extent is exactly not a sign of a healthy democracy.
I agree with you, but just from a programming standpoint, if we can see the code, it doesn't matter if Elon Musk owns it. We can see what is happening, right? Like,
right.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a universal negative.
Yeah. So I'm just saying there's still a big positive to that, regardless.
the free speech argument just never it doesn't make sense because Twitter is privately owned or was or whatever, and and they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? They can ban whoever the fuck they want.
It also doesn't make sense as a social platform. I mean, I saw an interview with Musk where they actually pressed him on what sort of speech would get banned potentially on Twitter, and he couldn't answer it. Like he was awing and umming pretty much.
But wouldn't you want somebody who can't answer that quickly?
The entire thing. And then he ultimately said that if there was ever any doubt, then the content shouldn't be deleted, he felt. And of course, we've all seen throughout the history of the internet that unmoderated social platforms have been guaranteed success, right?
But over moderated has also been a disaster.
Yeah, I think
you can't win.
The reality is it's a difficult problem. And I'm almost with Karak on this one. I want someone who struggles with that. And, he's thinking about the problem. He doesn't have all the answers yet. But at least he's being quite transparent in, how...
Yeah, because I guess I just didn't feel Twitter ever was. Right, that was exactly. It was like the Illuminati
the Twitter
of Twitter.
bans, etc. So far,
oh, dude, it's shady.
They just throw a dart at the dartboard.
In a way, you could say the same thing about, to get it onto games. You could say the same thing about Twitch, their bans, YouTube for sure, the Illuminati of YouTube. You never know what YouTube is doing.
Dude.
How much do we need to know? How much are you owed? I do think people think they're owed a lot where they're not too. Yeah. So like somebody is using some free service or whatever. It's like, you're not owed you're not. If that's what they've chosen to say is you just use it and we'll do whatever we want. That's you're buying into that. That's on you. But right now we've got to the point to where people also just become so socially verklempt with any of that. They're like, no, you need to tell us everything. And then somehow that gets turned into a bad thing, and you can't really win on this. Twitter's just a junkyard no matter who owns it. That's the you would have to make a new one. You would have to make and even then it would get misused. Because humans misuse shit. That's in a weird way. If we weren't, I would be nervous.
Like Twitter is already a cesspool, and if you pledge to even remove fewer people in the name of free speech from that cesspool, it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, because the cesspool is
point.
us. Yeah. We like to pretend that the shit's what we leave, but we are the shit. We're using it, and the moment we enter the equation, everything goes to hell. In a handbasket. It's just it's.
I should make clear though, I don't particularly care about Twitter. I don't have a Twitter account.
I know. But you can still talk.
I pretty much. When they started doing the whole where they wouldn't allow you to browse Twitter anymore without obnoxiously telling you, you make a Twitter account. That was the point I really started to stop engaging with Twitter on any level.
Dude, Reddit is almost as bad, because they got bought by whatever Chinese company and stuff, and you'll see shit that is really questionable on being deleted. You'd be like, why is that being deleted? There's, I mean, stuff where you're like, this feels like some overarching group is looking at this. And I mean, I can speak towards that at least a little bit, that some of the Chinese companies have contacted me. The things that they say are stuff that a Western or even most other nations would not say in their communiques, like on what you can and can't do. And it's obvious that's the way they run their entire, the entire nations ran that way. So it can't be too unexpected. But Reddit's got that way as well. I think they're all that way, right? Telegram is probably, I have an account on Telegram. It's a little bit weird. It's much more positive because I can choose what I get. Where like Twitter, I'll say, okay, I don't want to see these kind of tweets, whatever. It doesn't matter. I still get them. You know what I mean? It's almost like a Steam search, where you're like, I want a Dark Souls game, and OBS is quite literally number 3 when you search for Dark Souls games. You're like, OBS, the streaming service. How did that happen? So Telegram's a little better. Telegram has some good stuff. But I mean, how do you fix all this? There isn't, like, Discord is how I felt we fixed it.
Yeah, it's all trade-offs,
right, but I felt we fixed it with our Discord thing. Oh, by the way, there was another super chat. There was 2 more, and I missed one. I apologized. Will says, $10 super chat, supporting the channel, Back for Blood DLC, pretty badass. Thank you very much for pointing that out, because I am going to jump into that. Produced a game, Gaines wants to know what is our favorite Game Pass game right now. And then $50 super chat from DCRU Seeds, just dropping by to say what's up and support the podcast. Have a great day. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. You rock. Thank you for the super chat, everybody. Favorite Game Pass game?
There's a lot.
Crusader Kings. I think that's why somebody said Karak was going to say Crusader Kings. I think that's
Crusader Kings 3 is a really good one.
Psychonauts 2.
I mean, there's Outer Worlds on there. There's like
Psychonauts 2 is on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot on there. I mean, it's hard to.
A lot of good ones, dude.
A lot of good. There's Nier Automata. I mean, yeah, there's a lot.
Dude, there is Nier Automata's in Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Damn, son. That's why your Xbox is selling more. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Yeah. There's a lot. Somebody said, ding, ding, 'twas me. They knew that I would say Crusader Kings. Yeah, I mean, Crusader Kings. Yeah. Come on.
Wasteland 3 is a really fucking good one.
Wasteland 3 works pretty good on streaming, too. Warhammer.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. Weird West. Yeah. There's Jesus.
Dude, it's crazy. It's such a. What'd you say, bud?
Gears Tactics, and the one I played recently with Johnny, Nobody Saves the World, also a great game.
Oh yeah, we gotta get back to that,
dude.
That's good.
It's so fucking magical, man. It's so. I mean, we can all bitch because there are things to bitch, but at the end of the day, I think we always talk about Game Pass because it's just like,
yeah, it's a lot of stuff to jump to.
Yeah, and the thing is you can jump into 4 or 5 games and pay for
low
Game Pass.
Friction, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm in the mood for this. Boom.
You know what I saw some people saying, though? And I don't agree with this as much. Andy said this, I think. And I didn't really pick up on what he was saying until I was looking back at the video. He was saying that sometimes on Game Pass, he'll open up a game and that he might not have bought, right? And he'll play it and it'll be just okay, so he'll turn it off. I have found the opposite. I've played a lot of mediocre games now because of Game Pass. And played them a lot. City of Gangsters or whatever, the John Romero crime gang one. I've played so many hours of that game. A game that I probably would have never looked at ever. And I mean, I'm not saying I got the most hours in that game, but I got a lot of hours in that game. Elite. Well, I streamed that. I don't know if that's free on Xbox Game Pass, but there's a lot of games on Game Pass that the mediocre ones I play more because there's no. My time is important, but sometimes you don't. This is going to sound really weird. Bear with me. Sometimes I don't want a game that's going to grab me. I want a game that's going to entertain me.
Oh, you want a casual one?
But I don't want to say casual because some people will think that means a casual game. But the buy-in is casual. Yeah. Empire of Sin. Yeah. Thank you, Steven. Empire of Sin, which, by the way, I think is awesome. But again, I'm playing on Game Pass, so.
I get you, dude.
I think they also fixed a bunch of stuff. I think it had a problematic launch.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Johnny?
Because I played that game where you're just unpacking shit. Literally, the game is like a point
It
and
is.
click.
Is it called
I
unpacking?
love unpacking.
Unpacking. We talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Game.
I chilled for 2 hours playing that and never came back to it, and it was great. It was a great 2 hours. You know, there's something to be said about that.
And not only that, Johnny, this is where I think the magic exists. It's not the AAA, it's not the casual, it's not the shit games. It's a game where maybe you like an idea, so it informs you on the next discussion about games. And what I'm hoping is that devs are playing some mediocre games have a good mechanic in them. Like an awesome mechanic, but you're like, oh, this game, and we've talked about this hundreds of times. There's games that have some good mechanic, but the game itself, we're like, that didn't really, it's not a very good game. So people in the past had a tendency to look over it. Me, I'm like, this is a B game. It's not great. I'm just sort of into it. It's entertaining me. And then I'll see something awesome in it, like an idea. And I'll be like, oh man, I hope that's it. For example, Elix with jetpacks. I was like, that needs to be in all games.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Or I feel like
Watch Dogs Legion.
Godlike Burger from last week is an example of that as well.
Where it's got a system, or well, that entire game was surprising to me. Like the entire idea of the game, once you started reading it, was surprising. But yeah. X Initiative, $5 super chat. Do you guys think Game Pass should have its own rating system? Unique to the service. Oh, I think he means like stars or something. But does it not
to like push games to the top, kind
I
of?
think it's already got stars.
Some kind of tier system or
yeah.
I'm not sure what. Like
so right now it does it based on popularity, right? It has like a featured or like most.
So it goes on like downloads or something, because that's another thing. What's popular, downloads or playtime? Obviously, to me, playtime, right?
Right.
But I don't think that's how everybody goes, because we'll see it even with announcements. We had 300,000 unique downloads. Okay, but you have 5 people playing it. So what the fuck does that mean? You know.
Yeah,
it's weird though with the star system, because you'd see a really good game and it has like 2 stars, but it's only like 3 people voted for that. It's weird. I
think that's because their rating is like country based. Like you only see the ratings for your country.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Well, that makes sense too, because some games remove questionable content where they are. Germany removed like swastikas. Not that should stop you from enjoying the game if they're in there or not, but some things may have censorship or something. That makes sense. The other thing is games are increasing. This is Eternal said. The other thing is games are increasingly releasing, especially buggy. Yeah, we've talked about that. We talked about that at the starting. I totally. Yeah, games are definitely well, or maybe there's just more games. I mean, I had buggy games when I played on the Apple II.
Yeah, buggy games. I mean, I think there is a very much rose-tinted glasses to that.
I do too.
Narrative.
I do too. And also just the amount of people playing, because I might have been the only person in class playing a video game at that point, where now the entire class is playing, right? Yeah. So you do have just sheer mass. Same thing with Steam. Somebody will say there's not any good games out, and we'll be like, go to Steam and look at one day. And, you're going to see just a boat. They're not going to all be good, but you're going to see a boatload.
And come back in a couple hours after you look through the list.
And you'll see another full page in front of that. Yeah. I mean, we had Adam, I can't remember his last name, but he came on, he did The Killing, which was that point and click. One of the first game developers we had on. I don't even think he's in the business anymore. The game didn't do, the game didn't do amazing, but it did okay. Like those type of games, there's so many of them you can find on Steam or on Game Pass now. Game Pass less. Game Pass, I think, even though it's still a huge library, it's nowhere near. Their total games on Game Pass is not equal, by the way, to 1 week of new releases on Steam.
Holy shit.
No. Oh, yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah.
That
it's
puts
nuts.
stuff in perspective.
That puts shit in perspective.
Has so many games all the time. It's
and
crazy.
itch.io, if you're swinging dangerous, because itch.io has some really good games that are
itch.io has everything.
99
it has
cents.
The same games that are on Steam, etc., but also like
its own shit,
random stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys remember when the dam really broke? I think that was between like 2016 and 17, when we had in 1 year more games came out on Steam than throughout Steam's entire history.
Yeah. And now we're getting that like monthly. If you go back a couple years,
last year on Steam, Steam saw 10,696 new games.
So the question,
that's like your library, right?
That's like 5 times.
That's
my
5
library.
times his library. Listen to this. Abbreviated. This is Indio. He says it's amazing with so many games being made and released, people can still find success. That is true too. that somebody
Yeah.
like, and you'll see a game that gets amazing positives, like reviews, and I'll go back and look at it and be like, this game was awesome, and it obviously it didn't sell at all, and you're just like, damn, that happens too. There's just not enough money. There's not enough money and enough eyes on for a lot of games. Even from my standpoint, I could imagine how many games you could cover in 1 month. Okay, let's say you looked at Steam and you took the top 10%, by the way, of Steam games in 1 month. It would still be more reviews than I've ever done in my life. Times 2.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's unbelievable. No, Dej says that's the number of hours Reg has in Lost Ark. 2,000.
Yeah, I was just gonna type a reply and say not yet, come back in a month.
Yeah.
But all right.
TJ asked a good question. Do you guys think Spartacus will compete? Spartacus, by the way, is the code name
subscription for
PS Plus now.
But are they doing the same? Are they doing
They
the
are
same
really. I don't think they will, because their system
No.
that they have currently is bad. Like, now that I've
They have
started
like
to look at the
50 fucking
tiers,
tiers and shit.
and they've
like,
stopped the. You guys
the one-
saw
the
that
one
they
thing-
stopped the tiers from being able to be stacked too. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out. Go ahead.
Yeah. The one thing that they are adding on like the Sony side to the most expensive tier apparently is compulsory 2-hour trials for all games.
saw that.
Cost more than $34.
Yeah.
So like you can't, as a developer, opt out of that or something. If you charge more than $34, your game has a 2-hour trial, and that's that.
But
That's good.
those trials
That's a
are
good-
only available for the premium level of.
That
Yeah.
is the part that sucks. Yeah.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
like
that should be
Because
just
yeah, I mean, 2-hour trial would be very much pro consumer, I think, because you can't just try
Yeah.
the game.
But
It's like the no money down version of Steam refunds, I guess, or how many people use Steam refunds. It's
Yeah.
not meant like that, but people use it like that. But it's only in the most expensive tier, and that sucks.
it's what we said. Everything that they're doing feels like it's spur of the moment. They're like $34 even is spur of the moment. 34, any game under 35 or 30, you're like, what? How did somebody come up with that arbitrary price? Like, that's such an arbitrary, because most games are $49.99, $39.99. They're not in that $5 range that we see very often. So there's that. Opting everybody into the demos, I like the idea of, but ignoring the extra work. So what I'm saying is, I like the idea of it. That's it. I'm not saying I like the devs, some devs who it's just 2 or 3 people are going to have to figure out how to make a demo. I'm not saying that that's good. I'm just saying that I really like the idea of it. But it is really odd that they're making it all just be the premium tier. They're just trying to sell the tiers.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that, and they don't give any like tier revenue share or something to the developer. Like people you played your demo or something, you get money for it. Nah, it's all just Sony keeping it.
really? Oh, for some reason I thought they'd change that. See ya, Butterfly. Interesting. Yeah. So
Well,
I mean,
unless I missed that update.
no,
but
you're probably
that's what
right,
read
because I don't
today.
think I as far as I know, I don't think others do. Surf, $5 super chat. If Steam ever goes the Game Pass route, do you think they would open up the service to all the hentai puzzle game devs? First of all,
I hope so.
First of all, that Steam price would be outrageous. It would have to be thousands of dollars a month. It would make no sense to be like,
every game on Steam to be.
dude,
be
yeah.
there?
Can you
Oh,
imagine that?
Jesus.
Every game on Steam. They-
someone binging all the hentai games in like 1 week.
Yeah,
Or that-
if they were to do a Game Pass thing, they would have that separate. Like, I don't see them. Yeah.
Are
that
hentai
would
games
be-
illegal on Steam? Is that what it is?
No.
Okay.
They're fine.
No, they're legal.
Because
Yeah.
Escort was on that
Yeah, they're
Bangin'
all there,
Simulator
yeah.
was there. So I was trying to.
There's a lot of
It's pretty
NSFW
much,
games.
Pretty much everything is on there now.
What do they stop?
Oh. Well, there was, I think, a couple games where too violent for there was
Terrorism
one-
based
Yeah.
or whatever it
Yeah,
might be.
Yeah, stuff like
Fuck,
that.
there was one I played a long time
calls
ago.
for violence.
There was also
yeah.
some rapey game. There are some rapey games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like rape
stuff
play
like
and
that.
shit like that. Like
I'm not
Limit
laughing
Fire.
at rape. I'm laughing at how that's a genre. Rapey games.
exactly.
Wow.
Yikes.
Like, where
Yikes,
are
dude.
we in the world when that's a. And
I mean,
it is.
remember
It is.
remember
I mean,
rape play back in the day, like when rape play came out, and
Was that a game?
It's like
on
a
Steam?
Japanese.
No,
Yeah,
I
where you
didn't.
literally.
That is a Japanese
Dude,
game
that's
because
so
that is
messed.
a genre that is legal in Japan.
Yeah,
I know,
You have,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to
There.
sexually harass people in that game.
Okay,
But yeah, no,
that's-
that would obviously not fly. There was another one where literally all you had to do was kill innocent people, like with guns, and it was like.
Oh,
super
Mr.
violent.
Agent brought something up, which I don't agree with, by the way. He said Super Seducer was removed. And that game,
Well, also,
that bothers me that was removed. Because that game was like a social dynamic game. That was different than
Yeah,
what we're
I don't
talking
know why
about. I don't know
that
either.
would be
Yeah.
removed.
That
yeah.
bothered me. Because I remember reading that going like, what are we doing here? Go ahead, Reg. What were you going to say?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that someone in chat mentioned NFT games also just like are generally not allowed on Steam. Like,
So with
that's the
NFT
point.
games, if your game has NFTs, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
So was Breakpoint ever on Steam?
Breakpoint
don't
was
remember. Actually.
Ubisoft's Breakpoint, because that had
yeah,
or
sorry, no,
that had
no.
digits on the side of your helmet. Okay, gotcha.
Wasn't,
so that
didn't that release after Ubisoft went together?
I think
with
it
Epic
did,
for
yeah.
new games.
so here's the thing then.
We did.
That will stop Ubisoft games from going on Steam if they put NFTs in it.
True that.
True.
That is
Yeah.
going
I mean,
to
not
be.
that they're currently planning on doing it anyway.
Do they have no
No,
games
they're
on
not-
Steam still?
Yeah, no,
no
they're
longer.
not. They're not releasing on Steam.
So they're foregoing. That's how much. By the way, that's another thing. Ubisoft believes in whatever their plan is so much that they're foregoing the entire Steam marketplace.
Crazy.
And I'm telling you guys, this is what I was talking to developers who were like, their producers were saying, we will put NFTs in the game regardless if every person who's currently playing it stops, because NFTs are worth so much money that we will. That's what we were hearing. So that makes sense. And if you see Ubisoft doing something like this where they're not going in, Gaming Addict, $2 super chat. What's up, guys? Hit that like button. Thank you very much. Check out his podcast coming up Sunday. I don't know who you guys have on. Not me. At least I wasn't invited, but it's cool. I don't cry myself to sleep. You guys can watch their podcast if you want. It won't have Karak in it. Gaming Iron Lords podcast. Very good podcast. I mean, without me, not as good. Maybe a solid 6.
I'll tell you what
Wait
it
for a deep,
also
deep sale
won't
without me.
have.
Johnny?
An existential quandary
Oh,
that I
God.
have for you today.
Let's
Karak.
do it.
Are you ready?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Let's do
Oh,
this
no.
shit. Let's go. Existential
Existential
quandary. I need to have a music.
Jingle, jingle.
Yeah, I need to.
blim, blim.
I'm going to make one. I'm going to make one.
Oh,
Go for
God.
it.
If you could, assuming we live in a deterministic universe, okay? So even if you know the future, you can't change it. If you could know exactly the date and manner of your death, would you choose to know or
Fuck
not?
no. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Easy no.
Hard nose from the
It's
guy?
like me. I don't like when I don't like knowing when the game will add. I don't like knowing how many seasons there are in a show. I just don't like knowing when the final thing is gonna happen.
Wouldn't it give you some relief to be like, you know, it will be fine
No.
until then? Like, I don't have to worry about anything until then. Like,
No.
No. If anything, it would completely remove the spice of life, as it were.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would, dude. I think I
would
could
for
chill
me.
with that.
But here's the thing. So I find out in 30 days I'm going to die, right? If
Okay,
it's
that's a rough one.
No,
right? Yeah.
no. Let's say I find out in 30 days I'm going to be eating pork rinds and I'm going to choke on one. Here's my
Okay.
question to you:
Sounds
If
about
it's
right.
deterministic, if it's a deterministic universe, then anything
choose to not eat
no
the-
anything I do up until that point, including overreacting to my upcoming death, would have already been determined.
True.
So
Yes.
I would want to know then. And here's why. Because to me, that would fit. Like, if I'm asked the question, I would say yes. They would tell me the date, and I would just overreact in life and do everything that, not that laws would stop you from doing, but you get my drift.
Right.
Up until
yeah,
that
yeah.
point, because I would know that day I would die. But that seems more of a because that would already be determined. If I said yes, that's a determination right there. If I say no,
Yeah.
that's
Kind of like a
determination.
paradox in a way.
It is
because
a
it's
bit of a paradox
deterministic.
because
It is,
would all the
yeah.
overreaction already be determined?
Yeah.
Then if it was, I would still say yes, because here's the thing. When you ask the question, the determination can't be the same because you're asking a question and I'm answering without the data. The moment I answer, now I have the data, and that means it would change. It might not change the way I got there, but I would assume that yes or no, I would get there anyway. So I would choose the yes and just go nuts because I would still know that somehow I'd choke on, even if I had no pork rinds near me and I was in the ocean, somehow a pork rind would fly into my face and choke me. I'd be like, I might as well enjoy it instead of being surprised.
Yeah.
I would tell my family, hey, I'm going to die. Ooh, my dogs. Continue this discussion. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I think you could frame it as removing some of the uncertainty and anxiety.
No,
from...
it would add anxiety to me.
Yeah, I'd be like, well,
if
I'm
it's
counting
far
down the
enough,
days.
okay, let's assume. Hold on.
No,
let's assume,
okay, it's pretty
right?
easy. My argument is
Yeah,
this: I would
okay.
say no, I wouldn't want to know, because then you can always keep pretending that it's far, far away. Like you don't know; it could be.
What if it is though? Right?
But you
so
ignore it all the time, and you say, "Ah, whatever. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow me's problem all the time."
I see what you mean.
That's what you'd say? It's tomorrow.
Yeah, I like living.
Yeah, you
in
wouldn't.
ignorance.
You wouldn't wash. You wouldn't. You'd do whatever. Which I don't know. That's a weird
I
question.
think I could chill with that. I could chill knowing the
Like
the
me
date.
going to die isn't in my head every day. Like I don't think, oh, I'm gonna die at some point because
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't want
if
to.
you would know, like you would mark it on your calendar, you would probably start counting down the days.
Yeah, but if
You
it's
would
like
just-
30 years from now,
it would
Reg,
should suddenly be the focus of what.
Yeah,
for me,
whatever
anyway,
you're
would be
doing.
The focus
Which
of
then in the
rest of
end
my
becomes
existence.
deterministic of you getting
might
there.
You might also go like, oh, I'm not going to die until like 40 years from now. So that means I don't have to take that good care of myself. And then you sort of
Yeah, because you'd
And
be
you
like,
end
I
up-
made it 40 years somehow,
and
so
then-
let's eat
and then you
Oreos.
end up-
No, that's the way I'd
exactly.
be. I'd be like, it's Oreo time.
And then you end up
you live
then
with
you
a
end
million
up
diseases.
lasting the 40 years, but maybe there's a whole bunch of like health problems that arise.
Your
in the
legs are
meantime,
chopped off.
even though you survive.
You're like a dog in that game he was talking about, no legs, no arms, just rolling around to get your food. Here's the thing.
No, I mean, to me, the mystery is part of what imbues value to life. The uncertainty. Yeah.
I would
would
say
want
that
that.
would be true if I thought about it, but I don't care about the mystery. Like, I think it also depends on if you faced it when you were younger or not. Because I have, and so my thought process is probably different than somebody who hasn't. So like, I've been like, all right, could have died. Does that change? Because that's also changed my life after that. So it's like,
I like great apes addition in chat to that. Yeah, and coma the last 22 years. 20
oh,
years.
no shit.
Yeah.
But see, that
Because you
again
would
is
know, like-
determinist. Yeah. What I was saying was if you could choose how to die, and a lot of people would say die in their sleep, and I legit am saying I don't agree with that. Just see people say, if I could choose a way to die, I want to die in like the spectacular way where cracked articles are written about you. Where people are like, this dude died.
really?
Yeah, like you're in a fucking airplane, it crashes, it's on fire, you hit the water, shark gets a warm meal. That would be an amazing death. That would be a death where people were like, this guy lived all the way to hit the bottom. He was in his little inflatable thing, it was on fire, shark got a warm meal. That would be awesome. Instead of like, you go to sleep and you die.
So
I want a
you would
cool death.
prefer like an excruciating.
Well, I'm not saying he gnaws on me, but he could chop my head off with one bite. That's pretty much the
Okay,
end. But
okay.
I the idea of like dying, I see a lot of people say I want to die when I go to sleep, and the idea of that sleep as a joke, some people will call it the mini death. Orgasms also calls that, but sleep's already that in a way. You go to sleep and you are, at least for a while, there's nothing there.
Yeah, the lights are off.
So
aren't they?
lights could be
Kind of-
off and you'll never wake up. That's just it. I sort of want something where, I guess it doesn't matter because once you
wanna
are
know
die,
you're about to die.
you're gone. Yeah. I don't
What's
know.
that
It's a weird
saying? You
thought
don't go
process.
into the night gently. I butchered it. So
Don't go
you don't
gently into that good night.
into the good night. That's the one.
But here's the thing. Well, that's true. That is true. And also, the reason why I think I might want to know when I would die is because I probably would try to help more. So let me give you an example. I do a lot of donations to like dog shelters and stuff like that, and to Ukraine. I've done some donations. The idea of if I knew I was going to die tomorrow, well, then I could donate everything to the, without the government getting involved with my will and shit. Like, because they do.
Yeah.
They and if you don't
Yeah.
have a will, it's a disaster. Like if
Oh,
you
dude.
like, you need to have a will like the day you're able to sign one, because if you don't, in some nations, it's fucking, that shit just never gets taken care of. So I do think of that sometimes, like where I would want my money to go. It's not a lot, but that would be sort of a cool way to die, to be to know that you were given all of your stuff away. I suppose you could do that in a will anyway, but you never know. If you write a will 20 years from now, you never know like what organizations would be around and stuff.
I like it. Good answers. We have some questions. You want to hit
Yeah,
some
go for it.
questions?
Let's do it quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's hit this one from, I think it's Winter, but it has weird characters in the name.
It is. Same thing happens to me every time I read his name.
Winter says, Dune Spice Wars preview of early access? ? I normally don't like early access, but it's Dune, so do you guys have thoughts? Are you excited about
Reg just played a bit.
Yeah, but I really only so little bit that I'm not gonna say anything about it. It's really too short.
There you
Just
go.
Don't care about Dune or anything.
Wow. Just don't give a
I'm
fuck
excited.
The
about
only thing I can, the only thing I can just say, I tried it on Steam Deck, and in OpenGL mode, it works fine on there. In DirectX mode, not so much. But that's the only technical thing I'm gonna say about it.
Copy that.
I am looking forward to it, but I'm probably waiting until it gets a little further, either further into early access or released into full build.
And this was on RTS, wasn't it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So remember, like we talked about
Like the
Halo.
original Dune RTS, I think.
Okay. Like we compared, or I compared the Halo show to a McDonald's salad. This to me is that. I don't want from Dune an RTS, if that makes sense. I would like something that like
yeah,
has like
that's
a world building and
funny
more
enough.
RPG.
That bothered me.
Does that make
Also,
sense?
the animations for guys dying and stuff is really jank. There's a lot of, because it is early access. That's why
Right.
I'm not reviewing it or previewing it. But I agree with you that Dune is pretty heavy, and I would like a heavier game, whether that
Right,
be an
yeah.
But
RPG.
I
So,
love Dune.
almost more like a visual novel
2000 back
game.
then.
Or...
Even that would be cool.
Or an RPG or
Or an
something
RPG.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Reg? About
I
that?
was saying Dune 2000 I loved back then.
Yeah.
Like that also was an RTS in.
Okay. It could be dope though. Yeah, because they have, cool.
Yeah, I mean, the original Dune was basically the building block for Command and Conquer.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. But just going to be honest, I feel that this game plays like that game. And that's why it's pretty
Right.
basic. to
Rough.
me.
It hasn't moved anywhere. In,
It didn't feel
30
like
years.
it had. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got, Johnny?
This question from Spooner. What shows, if any, have you guys been watching? Just finished Tokyo Vice and Arcane. On the hunt for something new. What do you got, guys?
Been watching the Orville.
Last thing I watched was Ranking of Kings.
Cartoon?
Okay.
That's my last one.
Cartoon? Is that a cartoon?
Anime, yeah. On
Sorry, anime.
Crunchyroll.
And then Abzi said he's doing
Well, it is
Orville.
Japanese cartoon, so yeah.
Anything from you, Silver? You doing any?
Second season of Better Call. Fifth season. Sorry, of Better
Nice.
Call Saul.
Better Call
I
Saul?
love the ending.
Yes.
The ending of 4 was great, man. The ending was 4
Yeah.
was really cool.
So,
Five was great.
I'm doing Better Call Saul as well. Love that show. I'm doing Moon Knight, which is also cool. I don't know if are you guys seeing that one?
I
Watching
will.
that?
I just haven't
Yeah.
yet.
Well, yeah. Not bad. And I also finished the anime called Tower of God, which was excellent. So if people want some anime,
Are there
that's-
dubs or is it all is it subs?
I watched it with subs.
But are there
So
dubs? Is
it's-
what I'm asking.
I think there are.
Okay.
Yes.
I might check it out.
It's one of those where they're climbing the tower, and if they get to the top, there is an amazing reward,
Like the Tower of
right?
Babel.
Like they become some kind of god or whatever they want, this type of thing. And they're
I've-
all like killing each other to get to the top.
I've been doing Rookie, which is just laid back Nathan Fillion.
Oh,
kind
the
of stuff.
one, yeah, with Nathan.
Yeah. It's got really PC. I'm not even a person who really has an issue with something becoming super PC because I think there's a big difference between PC and woke. A lot of people will be like, it's woke. And you'll be like, nah, not even close. Like there's true craziness and then there's just PC. It's become pretty PC. I was watching The Good Doctor, which I really liked. It's also become really like, I guess, mired in current wording sometimes where you're like, dude, seriously, we get it. Like, we get it. Where it loses its base of whatever storyline because it wants to, like, talk about this one thing. They did it with COVID, and it didn't work out, so it's not just political stuff I'm talking about. It's just current day sometimes. You're like, I don't know.
They did it with Brooklyn Nine-Nine the last season.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine was pretty, yeah, it was pretty rough.
The cop, like ACAB stuff.
So I've been watching older stuff. We're rewatching Castle, which has been highly enjoyable. Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
just rewatching
a comfort show.
Yeah, it's nothing deep. I'll probably watch a cartoon or two that you guys suggest, with some dubs, because I've been in the mood for that. But I haven't really found anything that's caught my interest. And then things are costing so much for streams that I've been sort of paring down who I have.
Yep.
So it actually has sort of cut a couple shows out, which sucks, but them's the breaks.
Okay, dude, there's one I think you're gonna love, Karak. Have you seen this one where the main dude is a lizard guy? So his head is like the head of a lizard.
Is this a real
Hedoro?
Yeah,
Doro Hedoro.
Somebody
Hedoro, like this, written in chat. Doro Hedoro. And this, so it's a lizard guy, but there's something about the aesthetic and the world in that show. It's almost like a Borderlands vibe with the like kind of crazy. But dude, I think you would actually like that.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
That
It's
has
fucked up.
also English voicing.
Okay.
It's a fun. It's fucked up. It's
And that one is on Netflix because it might be easier to watch.
Yeah,
than,
I stopped.
the world is cool. Like the ideas they have is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else I got for question?
This one from Bastard of Picard. Hey guys, I recently stumbled across an indie title that seemed to mix 90s survival horror game mechanics, i.e. tank controls, resource management, puzzles, etc., in a roguelike format.
What?
It probably means roguelite.
Oh, shut up.
I'm not gonna go there. Which I found to be really interesting in concept. What would be an atypical combination of genres you would all
cool.
be
Wait.
interested in?
He didn't tell us the name. He got me
I
all
wanna
hot
know
and
what the
bothered.
game
He didn't
is.
tell us the name of the game.
He didn't tell us the name.
Dude, who is that?
Bastard of Picard.
You're in deep shit, Bastard of Picard. You don't ever. That is, man. That's a tub and that's like a tug and run kind of thing. That's like
because he had us with the hook of
he did.
90s survival horror.
And I was like bought into that, and then he didn't even say the name of it. So
I'm tagging him and asking him.
you should ask him what it is.
Yeah.
That sort of pisses me off because like he was selling it. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it. Yeah. Okay. So, what's an atypical combination of genres we would be interested in seeing attempted, or an example of a combination that was attempted?
I mean, I think
we
we've talked about mixing genres
tactics,
so much.
right? This kind of stuff. Yeah.
We
I mean, I don't really have any. I mean, not to diss on him because he.
Yeah, I don't think
fucked
there's
us
anything
over,
recent.
but-
Yeah, I'm trying to think if something recently
Yeah, I mean,
popped up.
because we've talked about this so many times with like the mixtures
Yeah.
and stuff that there's not really. I mean, if he were to have, for instance, given an example of the game he was talking about, it may have informed the discussion.
I want to know that
You're still
game. I
salty.
need
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I mean, I think the indie games of the week we've had the last 2 weeks with Godlike Burger and Bubble Dogs have both been really interesting sort of blends of multiple genres into one. Where with Godlike Burger you had like Overcooked kind of Hitman type gameplay as well, where you have to like cover up murders.
Yeah.
And with the Bubble Dogs, you have like Spore mixed with like a typical pet simulator, and yeah.
I would love like an immersive sim roguelike. You know, like each time you think of new combinations or new ways or have a social aspect. Maybe it's been done, I don't know. But I feel like that would be dope.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, I would like a racing RPG.
Interesting.
But I think that F1's gotten close a couple times with career modes and stuff. But I'm talking about like a amateur racing circuit, level up, get character points and coolness so your hands don't shake on the, but a lot of games have already sort of come close.
Tried that. I mean, Toka Touring Car.
Yeah, Toka Touring Car is actually one of my favorite games. That is sort of what I'm talking about. Yeah. And Toka went away. I don't know if Toka has
Yes,
gone
I
away
do.
as a thing, and that's why it went away. But Toka was a great racing series, and Codemasters as well, right? Toka's Codemasters, is it not?
I think it was.
I think
yeah.
it was. Yeah, Toka is. That's funny you mentioned that. That is actually the game in my head I was talking about. But even more RPG. Like I love the idea of putting that team together. You know, the payoff, but not the shit graphics that we see in a lot of these management games, where they'll be like, manage a soccer team, and it's just two dudes, stick dudes running around. Did you guys ever play? Probably not, but there was an NFL game that did 1 year, I believe, where it was a full coach simulator, but you still had pretty good graphics of the people on the screen.
Okay.
And that was about 2 gens ago. But I remember being like, whoa, that's a step.
That's
and
cool.
Nobody's really done that. Yeah.
I always think in racing games, like, I want to get out of the car. I want to, almost like...
Or do testing, like maybe go
Like
do
drivers.
certifications, like drivers.
I think about like, having a character that I can almost like get up in the morning, have an apartment that I customize.
Oh,
get in
like
my car, and
no,
then
that's what I'm
do
talking about.
racing.
That's what I'm talking about. I think
Is
that would
that
be
what
awesome.
that game is kind of like?
No, it's
'Cause
not
I
that
haven't
in
played-
depth. No, not even near, not even 100.
It's
not even
basically
within
just a
100 miles
story
an hour.
mode for your
Yeah.
races.
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
It was just
'Cause that
earlier
reminds
than
me-
everything else.
Yeah, of like, like when GTA and these games started, like, oh, you can,
Yeah.
drive
Oh, no, it was
the
awesome.
car.
That would be great, like GTA, but without the shooting. So like, imagine a
what?
Forza Horizon.
Grand
so
Auto.
Imagine a Forza Horizon 5 or Forza Horizon where you can get out of the car, but you can participate in activities like bowling or whatever there is.
Like the
there
side,
and
almost
walk
like the
around.
GTA side stuff, bowling.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Yakuza,
Yeah.
like Yakuza, but like mainly it's like a. It's
You would
like
have to have a reason for them to come together, which is why I was saying an RPG, because like you could test cars, you could help them decide like what car type works for. I don't know, but I've just
some
always
kind of
thought that would
career
be.
or whatever. Yeah.
It'd probably turn out to be shit. The reason why it probably hasn't been done, because it could have been done by now, is probably because the gameplay is too divergent, where they're just like those two don't mesh as well as
I see what you mean.
Yeah, and
I
I think it's just also too much.
Yeah, because you're
That-
still.
I want it, man.
What
that's
if
a
you're good
huge-
at one thing but not good at the driving, Silver, or something
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So like the RPG part wouldn't. Yeah.
I love the immersion because, like, dude, in GTA Andreas, I had my fucking routine. I'd get up, I'd eat, I'd go eat, I'd go gym. Like, I had this fucking routine, and I love this idea of like the immersion in a game where
It's
meta narratives.
Yeah.
as you said. I mean, these days F1 does get fairly
F1
close.
gets very
to that.
close. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Where you have, I mean, you have the entire race weekend. You have testing, practice runs, which you get 3 of on each track, and then you have the 3 qualifying runs to set your qualifying time for the race to determine the starting grid, and then you have the race. And then in between that, you have like press events that you have to attend, talk to the press. You have to develop your car, like you earn.
Yeah, that's
during
pretty.
Your
That's probably
during your
pretty close to
practice
what I'm talking about.
During your practice sessions, you earn research points that you can then pour into basically a skill tree for your car. So you upgrade your car through those tiers. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like pretty close to what I was talking about. Any other questions?
No, I think we hit them all for today.
I want to pimp a game real quick. It's called She Sees Red. This is a Russian with English dubs FMV game about a murder. It's fairly short. It's Google Play as well as Steam. I think on Steam it's $9. On Google Play, I think it's $3. I played it on my tablet. It is about a detective going and investigating a murder and then playing the murderer as well. And
Nice.
it's probably 35 to 50 minutes per playthrough, but each time you play through and make choices, the ending not only changes, but like stingers, almost like Marvel movies have a stinger at the end credits, those change.
Right.
Yeah.
And more data from the story gets plopped in. And not very good dubbing, like not very good voice actors, but for $3.99, that thing's made.
Not bad.
That thing's well worth $15. Yeah, I don't know about on Steam if people would feel that way, but on Google Play, which is where I got it. That game was. It's just you sit back. They'll be like, do you distract this guy, or do you go around and you choose it? And they have full acting. Like we've talked about some of these like contradiction, but they have full scenes. And by the way, the best film quality. That's the thing I took away from it, was that it looked like a movie. As in the cameras, sometimes you'll see that show where you can tell they used not as good camera. Like it looks like a B movie almost, and you can sort of smell it. Whatever stuff they used, and they have a credit scene you can watch where they show behind the scenes where they have full-on fighters showing the characters what to do and stuff. It was again, don't expect amazing acting. It's not about that. It's sort of a choose your own adventure, fairly light game. It's pretty short, but you can get through it 3 or 4 times and see difference. And yeah, it was pretty good. It's called She Sees Red, and it's on Google Play and on Steam. So anyway, again, I'm not saying
and
it's amazing.
On
it's
Switch
just fun.
and GOG, etc. So it's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I think what happened was I saw some reviews where it was more expensive. Like on Steam, I think it's 10 or 15, and that's
on Steam. I just looked on the side. On Steam, it's about $7. On Switch and PlayStation, it's 10.
Okay, so I still
and
think
on mobile, it's 3.
I still think if you got through all of it, 10 is, for that kind of game it's probably not too expensive. But it was just fun to play. It was just it was, what would we talk about? It was entertaining. It's not deep, but if you're just sitting around, you have, some time to waste, you want to watch a movie and make some choices. What was the game on Netflix? Boondock or Boondoggle or Boons?
Yeah, it was a Black Mirror episode called the Boondock. Boondoogle.
No, Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
Is that what it was? Bandersnatch.
Yeah, Bandersnatch.
Wow,
Yeah.
Boondoggle. We were close. Anyway,
Bandersnatch.
Very close.
Yeah, we're
Started with a
right
B.
on. We're right on the edge, like his Captain Planet. Anyway, that'll be it for us. Thank you very much for showing up. If you get a chance, I would love for you to subscribe to the Discord. It helps. Subscribe to the channel. Johnny, what are you streaming?
Actually, I have a special event tomorrow. My friend that's coming over to meet me here in person. He's also the mod in my stream, and we're gonna do
Who is this?
a joint stream.
What's our username?
So his name is Corrido. He's always there on my stream. Is a really nice guy, and we're gonna do like a joint stream IRL. So people, and that will be like face reveal where people will meet him after seeing him behind the scenes.
And this is at what time?
So this is 2 p.m. UK time.
So I think we figured out that was 8:30 or 6.
It's
8 or 6.
9 a.m.
I was wrong both.
It's 9 a.m. EST. So I think
6
for you,
okay, it is 6.
it's 6.
6 Pacific time, yeah.
And we're gonna be playing Lego Star Wars.
Nice.
That's a good game to play. Yeah, so if you guys get a chance, check out his stream. Johnny Plays Live on Twitch. Next week, prior to this podcast, if I'm thinking of the dates right, you will see 1, if not 3 reviews from me. I can't remember the exact days.
1 or 3.
1 or 3, yeah, because there's a day where like our podcast is, and I think there's 2 on one and 1 on the other. But that'll be it for us. Again, if you get a chance, check out the shirts too. ACG on Teespring, they're pretty sweet shirts.
And they have sweet fabric too. I don't know
Dude, I don't know
who
what
you
it
banged.
is. Yeah,
this
exactly.
is like it's.
And I banged them hard.
That's weird.
No, I banged them hard because they put out some good stuff for me, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, dude, 10 out of 10 in bed for whoever makes those shirts because they are comfy as fuck. Absy should know he ordered one, and it's been a year and he still hasn't got it. Right?
It's
Didn't yours
lost.
get stuck in like some boat?
I have no idea, dude. I ordered it and it just never came.
Some random person went to they knew you're an ACG fan and they were waiting at your doorstep.
And I just took it.
Yep.
And it was such a cool one too. It was like had like the Oni.
Yeah, the
stuff
Oni.
on it.
Dude, they're sweet designs, man. I dig them. And that's not just me owning them. I actually think they're cool designs. That'll be it for us.
They are.
If you guys get a chance, jump into the Discord today. I don't know if we'll be streaming or yakking in voice chat. We may. Other than that, peace out, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, almost hit the wrong one.